Chapter 148. The next morning, Li Maoshuang came to the village with a set of medicine cabinets. An old set of medicine cabinets. The car stopped at the foot of Nanshan Hill. Wang Yao got out of the car after picking up the phone. He saw the medicine cabinet in the car. The medicine cabinet looked shiny, but it was not because it was new. On the contrary, it looked old. It was the result of frequent use and friction. There were traces of time on it. The wood used to make the medicine cabinet had a clear texture and looked good. It was made according to the design of the ancient medicine cabinet. There were 7 medicine cabinets, up, down, left, right, vertical, and horizontal. It was a 7-star medicine cabinet. What do you think? Li Maoshuang asked. Very good. Wang Yao liked it at first sight. That's good. Let's carry it up. No need. I can do it myself, Wang Yao said with a smile. What? In Li Maoshuang's surprised eyes, Wang Yao carried the medicine cabinet back and forth twice. The 7-star medicine cabinet was carried up the hill. Where did you get so much strength? Although the medicine cabinet was hollow, the frame and the medicine box were made of solid wood, which was quite heavy. He had asked 3 people to help him carry the medicine cabinet into the car. If he had not been worried about disturbing Wang Yao, he would have brought them up the mountain directly. He did not expect that Wang Yao could do it all by himself. You usually practice. This medicine cabinet is an antique, right? Well, yes, it's quite old. I asked a friend to buy it from the south. That family's ancestors used to be doctors in the Qing dynasty, but later changed their profession. This set of 7 stars medicine cabinet is still there. There were originally 2 sets, but he sold them. Are these 2 sets enough? It's enough for the time being, Wang Yao said. There were thousands of kinds of Chinese herbs, but there were not so many that were commonly used. In his current situation, the 2 medicine cabinets could hold 100 kinds of herbs. It was enough. How much is it? It's a gift from me, Li Maoshuang said with a smile. How can that be? Wang Yao said. Although he didn't know much about medicine, he knew that this set of medicine cabinet was from the Qing dynasty. It must be an antique. It was definitely not cheap. Well, you don't have to decline. In the future, if I feel uncomfortable, you can take a look at me. How about it? Li Maoshuang said with a smile. Sure, Wang Yao replied with a smile. The 2 sets of 7-star herb cabinets were placed in the room where he usually brewed medicine, against the east wall. Are you planning to open a clinic on Zishan Mountain? Not at the moment. It's mainly because it's convenient for me, Wang Yao said. Drink some tea. Thank you. How about the tea from last time? Yes, that's really good tea. A few days ago, a friend of mine came to my place and drank it once. Good fellow, he asked me where I got it from and asked me to get him a few pounds. He said that he hasn't had such good tea in years. Huh, Wang Yao just laughed. Not to mention a few pounds of tea. Even 1 ounce of tea was hard to come by. Well, I won't disturb you. I'll leave first. After drinking a few cups of tea, Li Maoshuang left. Don't leave. Let's have lunch together. Wang Yao looked at the time. It was already noon. It was lunchtime. I won't disturb you. I told my sister-in-law to come home for lunch today. Hey, I also found a problem. What is it? I feel different on your mountain compared to when I'm at the foot of the mountain. Different? What's different? Well, it's hard to say, but there is an indescribable comfort on Nanshan Hill. I feel that the wind is gentle and my breathing is smooth. It's much better than when I was at the foot of the mountain. I also had this feeling when I went to Wudong Mountain, Li Maoshuang said. Is that so? Maybe it's because the air on the mountain is good? Wang Yao replied. In fact, this was because he did not know that the battle array had begun to work. He was not the only one who had this feeling. It was just that he was more attentive and said it out loud. Yes, but I didn't have this feeling when I went to the nearby Evergreen Mountain and Julian Mountain. If you feel comfortable, you can come often in the future. Okay, let's go. Wang Yao accompanied Li Maoshuang down the mountain. After returning home, they had a quick meal. Then, they went back to Nanshan Hill and began to plan the medicine cabinets on the mountain. The classification and arrangement of the herbs in the medicine cabinets were actually very particular. Some of them were stored according to the type of herbs, such as roots, stems, leaves, stones, worms, and grass. Some were stored according to daily usage, and some were arranged according to the composition of common prescriptions. Wang Yao was not in a hurry to arrange. Instead, he checked the medicine cabinets one by one to see if there were any abnormalities in them. He had to admit that the things made by the ancient people were indeed unique. Not only were they beautiful, but they were also very sturdy and practical. After so many years, there were no moths, corrosion, or mildew. There was only a little smell of herbs. He made a classification of the herbs he currently had. Then, he found a label and wrote down various herbs. When he was done with all this, the sky became dark. Another day had passed. Phew, time really flies. In a house somewhere in Lianshan County, a few people gathered together. Sister, what medicine did you give Mom? The effect is very good. I haven't heard her muttering these 2 days. She also sleeps a lot better at night. I found a Chinese medicine doctor to prescribe medicine for her. Let's wait and see. It's only been a few days. Although she said so, the middle-aged woman's attitude had changed. From disdain to suspicion, she now had some admiration. I didn't expect that young man to have such ability at such a young age. Sister, how many doses of medicine did the doctor prescribe for Mom? Just 1 dose. Let's see the effect first. 1 dose. How can that be? A course of Chinese medicine requires at least 10 doses. You should quickly find the doctor to prescribe more medicine, said a man slightly younger than her. Why are you in such a hurry? Let's see how the effect is. What are side effects? Said the middle-aged woman. Let's wait a few more days and see. Mom seems to be better these 2 days. Well, the doctor also said to take Mom out more often. I'll take her to the coastal park tomorrow to relax. Sister, you have to worry about this matter more. Well, there's one more thing. I want to take Mom out for sightseeing after she's better. I want to take her to see all the scenic spots in the country. Okay, I agree with this. No problem. It was a family meeting. The center of the meeting was the old woman who had fallen asleep in the inner room. It was not until 9 p.m. that everyone dispersed. Only the middle-aged couple was left in the room. The woman was Ms. Gua, who had been in Rinha Clinic that day. Is the meeting over, Comrade Gua? Her husband brought her a cup of hot water. Drink some water. You talked a lot just now. You should be tired and thirsty, right? Thank you. I didn't expect the medicine to work. The young doctor is really capable, Ms. Gua exclaimed. Didn't you not trust him at the beginning? Her husband asked with a smile. He's so young, but he checked the pulse and treated the patient. Would you believe him? Ms. Gua asked. But fortunately, I didn't say anything outrageous at that time. I didn't annoy him. Let's wait a few days and see how good he is. Okay. The next morning, at about 10 o'clock, firecrackers suddenly burst out, making the quiet mountain village noisy. The newly rented house and the installation of the machinery processing factory opened today. The firecrackers were set off all morning. Then the equipment was turned on. The roar of firecrackers could be heard. Except for the 2 leaders, the rest of the people in the plant were recruited from the nearby villages. There are only 12 people in total. They processed some iron parts. Has it opened? It looks very lively. Far away on Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao heard the thunder in the mountain village. He could guess what was going on. The plant in the village opened this morning. When he went home for lunch, his family talked about it again. Are there many workers there? Wang Yao asked. Not many. I heard there are only a few people. There are 3 or 4 people in our village, Wang Yao's mother said. Are they doing mechanical processing? Wang Yao asked. Yes, it seems to be car parts. After asking a few questions, Wang Yao didn't ask more. After lunch, he went back to Nanshan Hill. He still had a lot of things to do. In the morning, Tian Yuantu called again. Although he didn't say it clearly, Wang Yao knew what he wanted to ask. It was about the illness of Secretary Yang's mother. It was a disease that was close to extreme mean. Regather soup was magical, but it could only cure the disease for a while. Or rather, it could delay the treatment for a while, but it could not cure the root of the disease. These days, he had a certain idea. Extreme yin disease needed to be treated with extreme yang. Just like in the novel Heavenly Sword and Dragon Saber, when Zhang Jiazhu was young, he was poisoned by the extreme yin and extreme cold of the Xianming divine palm, which could not be cured by an ordinary external force. Only the extreme yang and extreme internal energy of the 9 yang divine art could expel it. Wang Yao had an extreme yang herb. Dangyang flower. The flower is like fire, like the sun, and it can replenish yang qi. In terms of attributes, this licorice root belonged to the yang category. Its use was very simple. It could replenish yang qi. This was the principle of the so-called simple and specialized. I can give it a try. Wang Yao drew a circle on the licorice root. Although this licorice root was planted in the herbal field, it grew very slowly because of the lack of spiritual qi. Although its leaves could also be used as medicine, it was far less effective than the flowers. One licorice root was not enough. It needed to be combined with other herbs to increase the yang qi in the body and restore the body's vitality. Let's see if there is a prescription in this pharmacy. He brought up the panel and looked at it carefully. He found a prescription called sanyang powder. It was a simple sentence. It could replenish yang qi and expel the cold. Chapter 149. The decoction was just right for the disease, but the prescription was a bit too expensive. Just one prescription cost 80 exchange points. Presumably, other licorice roots were needed to supplement the decoction, so he would need to spend extra money. I don't have enough money to spend. Wang Yao realized at this moment. The pharmacy here was excellent. There were many things such as licorice roots and prescriptions which could help him treat some difficult diseases. However, the prices were too expensive. Take it slow. There was no rush. Without the prescription provided by the system, Wang Yao could only refer to the existing prescriptions and modify them to make a decoction. Or he could use the vast amount of medical knowledge in his mind to create his own prescription. After thinking for a while, Wang Yao made up his mind. I'll try to make a decoction according to my knowledge. Medicinal herbs? Buplurum, cohosh, kudzu root, nodo ginseng, fongfong, licorice ginseng, dangyang flower. Wang Yao recorded the herbs one by one, then stared at the names of the herbs. After thinking for a while, he crossed out 2 of the herbs and changed them to other herbs. It was very busy. It was dark again. In a mountain village, the factory that had just opened today was brightly lit. It was very busy. It was a bit noisy as he walked closer. Hey, this factory works at night too. It's just opened. They have to pretend to be busy. Otherwise, how can they hire workers? The roaring of the machinery made the nearby families unable to sleep well. Fortunately, the factory stopped at around 11 o'clock. The small mountain village was quiet again. Occasionally, a few dog barks could be heard. The next day, when Wang Yao was still busy on the hill, he received a call from Panjun. He said that Mrs. Guo's mother had finished the first decoction. The effect was very good. She wanted to buy another decoction. At the same time, she wanted to meet him to talk about something. Wang Yao thought for a while and set the time to be in the afternoon. The decoction was easy. He could make in the morning. He also had something to do in the city. When he left in the afternoon, Wang Yao deliberately stopped to look inside the small factory located in the north of the center of the village. He didn't see anyone. He only heard the clanking of the processing equipment. Vaguely, there was also a special smell. After stopping for a while, he drove away and went to the county. He arrived at the place he had agreed to meet Panjun at Rinha Clinic. I'm sorry for making you come again. It's fine, Wang Yao said. Come in and have a seat. I've already called Ms. Guo. She'll be here soon. While the 2 of them were still talking at the door, Madame Guo arrived. This time, she didn't walk. Instead, she drove a white BMW. Judging from her appearance, Madame Guo's family must be quite well off. Hello, Dr. Wang. Madame Guo had a smile on her face. Her attitude was obviously much better this time. Hello. Let's not stand here. Let's sit inside. Panjun invited the 2 of them into the clinic. There are not many people in the clinic. This time, some people looked at Wang Yao attentively. This was not the first time this handsome young man had come to the clinic. Moreover, Dr. Pan's attitude towards him was quite friendly. Dr. Wang, thank you for the medicine you made for my mother. She has been very good after taking the medicine. The quality of her sleep at night is better. She is also more energetic during the day. She is not as suspicious as before. How much is the medicine? When it came to the price, Wang Yao was a bit embarrassed. If it was an ordinary medicine, it would be slightly better. He could just add a certain amount of money to the market price. The key was that he added some moonlight grass. This was a licorice root which could not be bought with money. After several exchanges in the pharmacy, he could vaguely guess the exchange points and the actual price. For example, a stalk of moonlight grass cost 10 exchange points. The actual price was estimated to be 10,000. However, if there was no one who needed it, they wouldn't buy it even if you asked them to spend 10 yuan. However, if there was someone who needed it, they might not hesitate to buy it even if you asked for 1,000,000 yuan. This was the truth. 10,000 yuan, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. This price was estimated to be the cost price. It was even lower than the cost price because the herbs he used were all wild herbs, including wild glossy Ganoderma and ginseng. Although there were only 2 leaves of moonlight grass, its value was hard to estimate. 10,000 yuan? Mrs. Guo's eyes widened. So expensive. She had never heard of a medicine that cost so much. Mrs. Guo was not the only one who was shocked. Pan Jun was also shocked. 10,000 yuan for a dose of medicine? You really dare to ask for it? If he knew that Wang Yao had sold a dose of medicine for 1,000,000 yuan, how shocked would he be? Seeing their expressions, Wang Yao smiled. Dr. Pan, what is the most expensive medicine in your hospital? Wang Yao asked Pan Jun. I really don't know about this, but I know that the hospital in Hike City once imported a hemostatic injection, which cost more than 7,000 yuan. It is said that it is a genetic medicine. A box of Gleevec costs 24,000 yuan, Pan Jun said. The reason why it is so expensive is because it has that effect. As far as I know, it is not the most expensive medicine, Wang Yao said. Why were some medicines in the West so expensive? They could not be bought even if they wanted to. Some Chinese medicines were not bad. Some were even better. It was just that the purification was not as good. Dr. Wang, it is too expensive. Mrs. Guo said. She wanted to treat her mother's illness, but the price was too expensive. If she had to take 10 courses, wouldn't it cost more than 100,000 yuan? Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. I can change the prescription, but the effect will not be as good, Wang Yao said after a moment of silence. Can you please change it? Mrs. Guo hurriedly said. She really did not want to buy a dose of medicine that cost 10,000 yuan. It was too expensive. It was not much different from robbery. Okay, let me go back and think about it. Thank you so much. Mrs. Guo got up and left. Dr. Wang, your medicine is too expensive, Pan Jun said after Mrs. Guo left. Is it expensive? I don't think so, Wang Yao said with a smile. Dozens of grams of the Hong Pao sold for hundreds of thousands of yuan. Could be cured by drinking it? A stock of clivia sold for hundreds of thousands of yuan. Could it be comfortable and calm a mind? Health was something that could not be bought with money. Some people were willing to spend millions or even tens of millions of yuan just to live a few more years. Everything in the world had different functions and different values. Some people were willing to spend tens of thousands of yuan to buy a fur coat without batting an eyelid, but haggled over the price of a few kilograms of fruits. Some people spent thousands of yuan on a pedicure or a bath, but questioned the doctor's treatment. This incident made Wang Yao realize that he was too dependent on licorice roots. He should try not to use licorice roots for relatively common diseases. Let's get down to business. I want to hire you as a doctor in this outpatient clinic. Outpatient clinic? Wang Yao was slightly surprised. I don't have that much time. In his current situation, it was impossible for him to stay in the outpatient clinic all day. You don't have to stay here all day. You only have to come once a week, Pan Jun explained. Thank you for your kindness. Wang Yao shook his head. In fact, this was a good thing for him. He could get in touch with more patients and increase his experience. It would also be of great help to his current mission. However, he had a very important problem that he had not solved yet. He did not have a medical qualification certificate. It was a piece of hardware. If he were to treat people like Tian Tian, there would be no problem because he already knew these people and they were considered his friends. However, if he were to treat other people, especially in such an outpatient clinic, there would be a lot of people coming and going. If someone found out about this problem and reported it to the relevant department, he would be in trouble. Especially in the current situation, the country's attention to the medical system was constantly increasing. The punishment and crackdown for illegal activities were also increasing. About the consultation fee, we can discuss it. That's not the problem. My time is limited, Wang Yao said. Then, Pan Jun really did not know what to say. Well, if you need anything, you can call me. If I'm free, I'll come. If not, I'm sorry. Wang Yao proposed a compromise that he had thought of in advance. But I don't want to get into trouble. I know. This outpatient clinic only treats some common diseases. We will not accept any patients with life-threatening diseases, Pan Jun said. That's good. The consultation fee will be 300 renminbi per visit. What do you think? Pan Jun said. This price was not high or low. Some well-known specialists in the country would pay at least a few thousand RMB per visit, and at most tens of thousands RMB per visit. As for the surgery, the price would be even higher. However, this price was quite good for a small outpatient clinic. Okay, Wang Yao did not say much. He did not care about this little bit of money, but this was a rare opportunity. Okay, then it's settled. After this matter was settled, Pan Jun insisted on inviting Wang Yao to have a meal together. However, Wang Yao refused. He had other things to do in the afternoon. In fact, the main reason he came to Lianshan this time was to visit Li Maoshuang. After seeing Wang Yao, Li Maoshuang immediately made tea to welcome him. You seem to be quite free recently. It's okay. Actually, I'm very busy, Wang Yao said. He was telling the truth. He was indeed very busy and had a lot of things to do. Ha! Li Maoshuang heard and laughed. I also want to be as busy as you. I want to be busy living a godlike life on a mountain. This time, I'm looking for you because I have something to trouble you with. What is it? I need some wild herbs. The sooner the better. Where's the list? It's here. Wang Yao took it out and put on the table. Chapter 150. Okay, leave it to me. Li Maoshuang glanced at the list and said, No, you need so many herbs to grow your own medicine. Are you really going to treat patients? Well, by the way, can you find time to inquire about something for me? Go ahead. Antiques like the medicine cabinet last time. In terms of medicine, if you have them, you can get them for me. The price is negotiable. No problem. Why are you suddenly interested in these things? It's useful. Wang Yao smiled. It was really useful. He had already started to use the medicine cabinet. It was very convenient. After staying at Li Maoshuang's place for a while, Wang Yao left. After returning home, he went straight to Nanshan Hill. He practiced Tai Chi on the hill. Although he was very busy these days, he did not fall behind in Tai Chi. He would take some time to practice Tai Chi every morning and evening. His progress was also very fast. It was just that there was no one to help him, so his progress was slightly slower. After 2 days of consideration, Wang Yao decided to try to make some pills that were easy to use and store. He had already selected some of the herbs. In addition to precious herbs such as ginseng and glossy ganoderma, the main ingredients were various licorice roots. Wang Yao had already thought about it. Once he made it, he would make the best ones. Of course, before that, he had to make some ordinary pills according to the ancient method and familiarize himself with the process. Making pills was different from decoction. The latter dissolved all the medicinal power in the herbs into water, while the former crushed the herbs into fine powder after processing, mixed them together, and then kneaded them into pills. Pills were not medicinal pills. They were not as magical as imagined. However, the process was more complicated than decoction. First, I'll find an ordinary pill to try and see how it works. According to the prescription that he could get now, he determined the pill to be made and then began to prepare the herbs. He did not have enough tools to make pills. He did not have tools for crushing and sieving. He made a list and sent it to Li Maoshuang. After a while, Li Maoshuang called. I say, what do you want? You want to break it up and sift it. To make pills, Wang Yao said with a smile. It had better be an antique. Okay, I got it. When do you need it? The sooner the better. I need it urgently. Right away. Between friends, there was no need for words. They would naturally do their best. Wang Yao estimated that in less than 3 days, Li Maoshuang would be able to prepare these things. Now, he was still thinking about another thing, which was the framework of the spirit-gathering array. Through this period of observation, he found that during this period of time, the growth of various spiritual herbs was much better than before the formation was set up. In medicine, there was a saying of monarch, minister, assistant envoy. Shinnong's classic of Materia Medica has a record. Applying 120 kinds of medicine is for the monarch, mainly to nourish the life. 120 kinds of traditional Chinese medicine is for the minister, mainly to nourish the character. 120 kinds of medicine is for the assistant, mainly to cure the disease. The medicine must be compatible with the monarch, minister, assistant, and assistant. This was the Tao of balance of the four symbols, and it was the same for setting up formations. Formations were like trees with roots, trunks, branches, and leaves. Now that the framework was complete, it was missing some branches and leaves. It needed to be added slowly. Some low shrubs, such as boxwood and tea trees, were enough. Tomorrow, I'll go to Chun Kuen's place to have a look. At night, Wang Yao carefully reviewed the formation map that he had prepared long ago. It was not until late at night that he turned off the lights and went to sleep. The next day, Wang Yao went to Chun Kuen's nursery and found that he was doing a lot of construction. It seemed that he was preparing to expand the scale of the nursery. "Hey, what a rare guest," Chun Kuen said with a smile after seeing Wang Yao. "Preparing to expand?" "Yes, building a big shed. What are you here to buy this time?" "Shrubs, boxwood, and the like." "No problem, I'll show you around." Chun Kuen took Wang Yao around the nursery. He selected some plants and decided on the quantity. "Send them to me tomorrow?" "Okay." Then it's settled. "Hey, do you have that kind of ginseng?" Chun Kuen suddenly asked. "Yes, but it hasn't ripened yet." "Why?" "I want to get some for the old people at home, but the ones on the market are all cultivated artificially. I want to get some wild ginseng from the Northeast," Chun Kuen said. "If it's just to nourish the body, artificially cultivated ginseng is also fine. Wild ginseng is relatively rare on the market, and it's not so easy to distinguish. You may not be able to buy good things with money," Wang Yao said. "Well, I still think wild ginseng is better, just like the plants in my nursery. Artificially cultivated ginseng is not comparable to wild ginseng at all," Chun Kuen said. "Besides, if you want to buy things for the old people, of course, you have to buy good things. Well, I know a person. You can ask him. He should have a way to get wild ginseng, but the price is not cheap," Wang Yao said. The person he mentioned was naturally Li Maoshuang. Li Maoshuang provided him with wild ginseng at a very low price. It was the purchase price. If he gave it to others, it would not be so cheap. After all, he was also a businessman. "That's good." Wang Yao left Li Maoshuang's phone number. After he left, Wang Yao called Li Maoshuang to inform him that he was leaving. On the way back to the village, when he passed by the processing factory, he smelled a somewhat pungent smell. He subconsciously stopped the car. "What's that smell?" He sniffed hard and got out of the car. He soon found the source of the smell. In the small river next to the village road, a water pipe next to the river embankment was splashing black sewage. The originally clear river water was dyed black. The source of the sewage pipe was the processing factory on the other side of the road. I was wondering why it was opened in this gully. Is it to secretly drain the sewage? Wang Yao took out his mobile phone and took a photo. He then prepared to get in the car. At this time, a man in his 30s came out of the processing factory. He was very strong and had a fierce face like a butcher's. He stared at Wang Yao. "What were you doing just now?" The man was very big, but his voice was somewhat muffled. "What does it have to do with you?" Hearing the man's unfriendly tone, Wang Yao naturally did not give him a good face. "Hiss." The man stepped forward and reached out to grab Wang Yao's collar. Interesting. Wang Yao reached out to grab and pushed the man aside. The man staggered and turned to look at Wang Yao. He actually wanted to punch him. "How dare you behave so atrociously here?" Wang Yao's face darkened. He bent his body and pushed with both hands. The man flew out upside down. He crossed the road and hit the door with a bang. Before the man got up, Wang Yao took out his mobile phone and took a photo of the man. After the man got up, he did not say anything. He turned and entered the factory. Wang Yao did not say anything. When he was about to get in the car, he heard a sound behind him. He looked back and saw that the man had an iron rod in his hand. "What are you doing?" Some people on the road saw this scene and rushed over. They did not know who the man was, but they had seen Wang Yao before. They were from the same village and had the same surname. How dare an outsider bully someone from the same village? Wasn't this courting death? The villagers were not good at other things. They usually quarreled and fought with each other. However, once an outsider came to cause trouble, they were quite united. In an instant, 7 or 8 men surrounded the man. Some of them even had hoes in their hands. Tools like hoes. "Yeah, are you okay?" a man in his 40s asked. "I'm fine, uncle." Wang Yao smiled. His heart was very warm. He looked around and noted down the people who took the initiative to stand up and help him today. You wait." The strong man pointed at Wang Yao. This scene and expression reminded him of the scenes that often appeared in movies and television. For such people, most people would stay away from them. Wang Yao pretended that he did not hear anything. He turned around and got into the car. He quickly sent the man's photo to Wang Mingbao. In less than 2 minutes, Wang Mingbao called back. "F***, what did you give me? A wanted criminal?" "No, the people in the new factory in the village are quite unreasonable. Help me check him." "Unreasonable? How dare he be unreasonable in our village?" Wang Mingbao, who was on the other end of the phone, said immediately. He was very familiar with his buddy's character. If he could hear the word unreasonable coming out of his mouth, then the person's behavior or words must be quite excessive. This made him unable to sit still. Now, he wanted to rush back to see who was the person who dared to be unreasonable in his village. "I'll go back right away. Don't worry. Didn't I send a photo to you? Ask your friend in the Public Security Bureau to check him." "Damn, how can you just send a photo?" "Hey, can't you check? Can't you get the person's information immediately after entering the photo into the computer? You're talking about the CIA, the Committee of State Security, KGB, not ordinary people's police." Wang Mingbao on the other end of the phone was speechless. "Really? I forgot to ask for his name." "Forget it. I'll tell you tomorrow." "Okay, hurry up. What's the person's name?" Wang Yao decided to try asking his mother about this, since he couldn't ask Wang Yao himself. Hearing Wang Yao's question, Zhang Xiaoying seemed to be interested. "You're asking about the fierce guy, right?" "Yes, what's his name?" "Li Dong. Yesterday, he beat a person in the village because the person said something in anger," Zhang Xiaoying said. "Why are you asking about him?" "Nothing, just casually asking." "I don't think he's a good person," Wang Yao said. After dinner, he told Wang Mingbao the person's name. "Let's see if this guy has a criminal record first. You always like to make things so complicated. Let me just say one word, beat him." Wang Mingbao on the other end of the phone said. If it weren't for Wang Yao's dissuasion, he would have been in the village now. He might have already had a fight with Li Dong. Things had to be done according to the rules. This was one of Wang Yao's principles in dealing with things. If the rules didn't work, he would consider other things. He quickly found the information he wanted. It had to be said that Wang Mingbao's friend was very reliable. Li Dong had a criminal record. He was once sentenced to prison for intentional injury. Chapter 151. He has a criminal record? Then he's probably not a good person. For such a person, Wang Yao paid more attention to him. In the afternoon, he dug the tree pits on the hill. He only needed to wait for Chen Kuan to send the trees he had ordered the next day, so he could plant them. The next morning, Chen Kuan pulled a cart of plants to the hill. "Do you need help?" After unloading the trees, Chen Kuan asked. He had been in the nursery for many years. He was very good at planting seedlings. "No, I can do it myself. Come in and have a cup of tea." He invited Chen Kuan and the 2 people who came with him into the cottage. Westlake Longjing Tea, Chimen Black Tea, Huangshan Maojian Tea. TSK, TSK, TSK. You have a lot of good tea here. Chen Kuan sighed. "My friend gave them to me. They're delicious. I enjoy them." After Chen Kuan left, Wang Yao planted the shrubs. There were a lot of shrubs. The shrubs looked small, but it was not easy to plant them. There were quite a lot of shrubs. They had to be planted in different places on Nanshan Hill. It was not a job that could be done in one day. At noon, Wang Yao did not go down the hill for lunch. He ate something on the hill and continued to work on the hill. He did not go down the hill until the sky was dark. When he got home, he helped his mother prepare dinner. He found that his mother was a little limp when she walked. "What's wrong, Mom?" Wang Yao asked. "Nothing. I accidentally fell. How could you be so careless? Let me have a look." Wang Yao hurriedly bent over to check on her leg. It was just a scratch and bruise on her leg. There was nothing serious. Only then did he feel relieved. "That's good." After they finished eating, someone knocked on the door and entered the house. It was Wang Fengming's wife. She was holding something. Sister-in-law, are you okay? It's fine. Xiang Chui, have a seat, Zhang Xiaoying said with a smile. You could just sit here. Why did you bring anything? It's good that you're fine. I think that person did it on purpose. He rode so fast, the woman said. I did it on purpose. Ride the bike. Wang Yao was stunned when he heard that. He looked up and saw his mother gently nudging Wang Fengming's wife. The latter realized something and immediately changed the topic. Auntie, please sit here. Dad, Mom, I'm going up the mountain. Hey, drive safe. Wang Yao went out and headed south. Sister-in-law, doesn't Yao know about this? The conversation in Wang Yao's house was still ongoing. Yes, I didn't dare to tell him. I was afraid that he would go to the other party to judge. After leaving the house, Wang Yao didn't rush to go up the mountain. Instead, he went to Wang Fengming's house. Uncle, are you home? Yao, come in and have a seat. When Wang Fengming saw Wang Yao, he hurriedly came out and invited him into the house. He served tea and water. Uncle, don't be busy. Are you feeling better? I've been much better since I took the decoctions you gave me last time, Wang Fengming replied with a smile. Uncle, I have something to ask you. You have to tell me the truth. What is it? My mother fell today. Did she really fall, or was she hit by someone? Wang Fengming hesitated for a moment. She was hit by someone riding a bike. Who was it? I don't know who it was. I heard from your aunt that the person was working in the factory that just opened, Wang Fengming said. Where did you hit her? On the bridge north of the village. She almost fell into the river. Well, I know. Thank you, Uncle, Wang Yao said calmly. Don't tell my parents that I'm here. Hey, Yao, don't do anything out of line, Wang Yao said. I know, Uncle. Wang Yao still had a smile on his face. He still looked very calm. After coming out of Wang Fengming's house, Wang Yao went to the new brigade house in the north of the village. There were surveillance cameras there. There were people on duty at night. Usually, there was no one there. However, Wang Jiangang happened to be on duty that day. It was a coincidence that he came to take a look. Uncle, are you busy? Yao, why are you here? Wang Jiangang asked. Look at the surveillance cameras in the village. Someone hit my mother during the day, Wang Yao said calmly. Really? Who is it? I don't know, so I came to take a look. Wang Jiangang opened the video and looked at the video. Soon he found the video. A fast motorcycle brushed past a person. It was obvious that the motorcycle was deliberately brushing past her. If Zhang Xiaoying didn't dodge in time, it wouldn't be as simple as brushing past her. This person, Wang Yao narrowed his eyes. Li Dong. He was courting death. Thank you, Uncle, Wang Yao said calmly. Hey, listen to my advice. Don't do anything stupid, Wang Jiangang advised. After a few contacts, he had a good understanding of the young man in front of him who seemed to be easy to talk to. Last time, it was just a verbal confrontation and threat. He made Wang Ida stay in the police station for more than half a month. Wang Ida was shocked and suffered. When Wang Ida saw him, he was like a mouse seeing a cat. He had to stay far away from him. Now, the outsider who did not know the situation had hit his mother directly. How could it be? Yao, don't do anything stupid. Uncle, I know what to do. It was already past 9 p.m. when he came out of the brigade house in the north of the village. Wang Yao went straight to the small factory. The workers had already left work. There was a light inside. He could vaguely see a tall figure. Woof, woof, woof. As soon as Wang Yao approached, the watchdog in the yard barked fiercely. Wang Yao reached out and tried to open the door. It was locked from the inside. Hearing the watchdog barking, the big man inside came out. He looked up and saw Wang Yao. He then picked up an iron bar from the wall. Separated by an iron door, the two people looked at each other. Did you do that during the day? Wang Yao's tone was very calm. The qi in his body was already flowing like a great river. Yes. Who asked your mother to be blind? Li Dong said. This was a naked provocation and threat. Wang Yao did not speak. He slammed his palms on the iron door, making a loud bang. Creak, clang. The iron door was pushed open by him, and the padlock directly broke. Woof. The unlocked dog came up. With a miserable cry, the dog flew out again and crashed into the wall. It didn't get up again. Woof. Li Dong picked up the iron bar and hit Wang Yao. His eyes were fierce. Wang Yao stepped back and avoided the iron bar. He quickly moved forward and punched with both fists. His punches were fierce and overbearing. It was not Tai Chi, but Ba Ji, strong and fierce. With a cracking sound, the man was sent flying. His iron rod fell to the ground with a clang. Plop! He also fell to the ground. He struggled to get up and covered his stomach. He looked at Wang Yao fiercely, like a wolf that wanted to eat someone. He was vicious and did many unjust things. This person was a scourge. Li Dong staggered with the iron bar and was about to hit him again. Wang Yao stepped forward and moved his hands together. It was not 4 ounces against 1,000 pounds, but 1,000 pounds against 4 ounces. Li Dong flew out again before he could stand firm. He fell to the corner and struggled. He could not stand up, just like the evil dog on the other side. Wang Yao calmly took out his phone and dialed a few numbers. In the middle of the night, the sound of ambulances and police cars disturbed the tranquility of the small village. Drink some water. In the town's police station, a policeman poured a glass of water for Wang Yao. He had just received a call from the director. He said very clearly that the young man named Wang Yao could not be wronged by them. In fact, he had seen this person before. He came with Wang Mingbao last time. He knew who Wang Mingbao was. He was the son of the mayor. With this relationship, Wang Yao only came to give a statement. However, this matter worried his parents. They soon found out about it and rushed over. Dad, Mom, go back to sleep. I will deal with this matter. What do you want to deal with? Don't use your brain. Wang Fenghua scolded. Obviously, he was very angry about this matter. Since Wang Yao left home, they were not relieved. Later, they received a call from Wang Jiangang. He said that Wang Yao had just watched the video during the day. Of course, he saw the scene of Zhang Xiaoying being knocked down. The two of them knew that something bad was going to happen. They hurried out the door, but it was still too late. Wang Yao did not say anything. After receiving the call, Wang Mingbao rushed over as fast as he could. Where's the person? He went to the hospital, Wang Yao said. He deserved it, Wang Mingbao said. The person was still in the emergency room of the county hospital. 3 of his ribs were broken. Both of his arms were almost comminuted. His internal organs were bleeding. How did this person get hurt like this? Was he hit by a car? He was beaten up. What? How could he be beaten up like this? Wang Yao filed a record with the police station. Someone vouched for him. He could go home for the time being, but he had to wait for the summons. After returning home, Wang Yao was scolded by his parents for a long time. He did not go to bed until midnight. The next day, the police station in town suddenly received a call. They hurriedly drove to the mountain village and invited Wang Yao to the police station. As soon as they arrived, they saw 2 policemen from the county. Wang Yao, the leading policeman, looked unfriendly. Yes, this case will be taken over by the county bureau. You are suspected of intentional injury. Come back with us for investigation. Okay. Wang Yao was very cooperative. He followed the 2 policemen directly to the county bureau. The police car sped all the way. The 3 people in the car looked serious and did not speak. It was as if someone owed them a lot of money. Soon, they arrived at the county bureau. Wang Yao was escorted out of the car. Just then, a group of people came over. The leader was a middle-aged man who was not very tall. When he accidentally saw Wang Yao, he was slightly surprised. The deputy director accompanying him saw him stop and hurriedly asked, "Deputy County Magistrate Dai, what's wrong? What's wrong with that young man?" As soon as he said that, the deputy director immediately ran forward and asked about the situation. He then came back to report. His name is Wang Yao. He is suspected of intentional injury. Well, as law enforcement officers, you have to uphold justice. You can't let the bad guys go, but you can't wrong the good guys, Deputy County Magistrate Dai said. Yes. The deputy director immediately nodded. After seeing the county leader off, he immediately turned and went into the police station. Chapter 152. Where's the Wang Yao you just brought back? The reason why he was so concerned was because of the words of Deputy County Magistrate Dai. As a leader to a certain extent, there were some things that he would not say casually. When he said it, he had his own meaning. It was an unwritten rule in the officialdom. Although he was now a deputy director, which was not a small cadre outside, Dai Li was an executive deputy county magistrate. A word from him could affect his future. Deputy Captain, I brought him back. Well, good. In an interrogation room in the police station, a man in his 40s stared at Wang Yao with a slightly dark face. Name? Wang Yao. Age? 26. Do you know what crime you committed? I don't know, Wang Yao calmly said. Bang. The man slammed the table fiercely. You'd better be honest with me, the man sternly said. We have the relevant information and evidence. You'd better be honest with us. I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I be honest? You're quite stubborn. The policeman winked at his subordinate next to him. Hey, some people. Another policeman got up and stretched his body. At this time, the door was opened with a bang. Deputy Director? Song, come out for a moment. Yes. The policeman who had been quite rude just now was very respectful at this time. He quickly ran out. Deputy Director, what can I do for you? How many times have I said it? It's the Deputy Director. Although he said so, the Deputy Director was very comfortable in his heart. What can I do for you? What's the matter with Wang Yao inside? Deliberately hurting people. The policeman's surname Song was stunned. Is it serious? The person is still in the hospital. Well, ask him properly. Don't let the bad guy go, but don't wrongly accuse the good guy. The Deputy Director patted the policeman's shoulder and turned to leave. What do you mean? The policeman was stunned. Anyone who could hold an official position in the system would have a high IQ and EQ. For example, the police officer, surnamed Song, was wondering what the leader meant by his words just now and why he had only mentioned this person's name. In fact, this time, he had arranged for someone to go over under someone else's request. Moreover, deliberately injuring someone was an illegal act, and it fell under his jurisdiction. He originally wanted to make that person suffer, but after being told this, he hesitated. He didn't say whether the person was a good person or a bad person, but the meaning should be more obvious. Just as he was thinking, another police officer came over. Xiao Song. Hello, Chief. The policeman was shocked. After seeing who it was, he quickly saluted and greeted him. Yes, Deputy Director. What brings you here? We just caught a young man called Wang Yao. Yes, Officer Song said. Because of what? Suspected of intentional injury. Yes, investigate carefully. We must get to the bottom of this. Don't wrongly accuse a good person. Yes. The Deputy Director also left after saying a few words, but his meaning was even more obvious. F***, who is this Wang Yao? Even the two Deputy Directors came to plead for him. Will the Chief come later? Ring. The phone suddenly rang. He ran over to take a look. Hello, Chief. Through the phone, the other party couldn't see, but he still saluted very formally. You were sent out today? Yes, a young man called Wang Yao was caught. What's the reason? Suspected of intentional injury. Ask carefully and find out. Yes. After hanging up the phone, his forehead was sweating. He had never seen a situation like this since he became a policeman. He turned his head and looked at the door of the interrogation room. Who was the person inside? Fortunately, he didn't do anything just now. Otherwise, it would be troublesome. Go and find out who Wang Yao injured. I want specific information, Wang Yao said. He first arranged for someone to do this. Then, he went to the interrogation room with a faint smile on his face. Come out first. There was a misunderstanding. He didn't make it clear. He asked Li Dong to come out and made a cup of hot tea. However, the taste was a little bad. Li Dong's information was quickly found out. He is a habitual offender. As soon as he saw Li Dong's information, Officer Song knew what to do. F***, I was almost killed by him. At the same time, it made him very angry with the person who called him to ask for help. Just as Wang Yao's family was anxious, Wang Yao took a taxi back to the village. Are you all right? His mother went forward to check carefully. I'm fine. I just cooperated with the police to make a statement. It's okay. Wang Yao smiled and comforted his mother. That's good. That's good. In a restaurant in the county, a fat middle-aged man looked gloomy. Obviously, he was unhappy. What? Let him go. Why? He deliberately hurt people. My worker is still in the hospital now. He almost lost his life. Someone from the top is keeping an eye on it. As far as I know, one director and two deputy directors have called to ask about this matter. Who is he? Why is he so powerful? He has a friend in the same village. His father is the mayor of that town, another person said. About this matter, enough is enough. Don't you have a small processing plant in his village? Even a strong dragon can't beat a snake. Well, I'll talk to Li Dong about this. He has been with me for a few years and has never suffered such a big loss. That's because he hasn't met such a person. After returning home, Wang Mingbao, Tian Yuan-tu, and Li Maoshuang called one after another. Wang Mingbao's call was expected. He was a little surprised when the other two called. He didn't tell them about this matter. Thank you, it's okay. The storm seemed to have passed. However, in less than a day, a post suddenly appeared on the online forum. The law enforcement was unfair. The criminal who deliberately hurt people was condoned. The post was hyped by the internet water army. It quickly spread and soon had tens of thousands of clicks. The number of clicks was increasing rapidly. The content of the post was directed at Lianshan County. The character was Wang Yao. Even a name was correct. This matter quickly attracted the attention of the relevant departments. Some reporters even called the relevant departments in Lianshan County to ask about this matter. As the saying goes, one wave after another wave. In the face of such a great pressure from public opinion, Lianshan County made a decision to let the relevant personnel thoroughly investigate the case. The person in charge was a deputy director. The person directly handling the case was the policeman surnamed Song, who was in charge of interrogating Wang Yao that day. They reconducted a detailed investigation of the whole incident, including watching the video in the mountain village, interrogating Wang Yao, and questioning Li Dong, who was still lying in the county hospital. They had a clear understanding of the incident. Wang Yao was invited to the police station for questioning again. Why did you go to see Li Dong at night? He hit my mother during the day. I went to see him. The reason was very good. Why didn't you go during the day? I didn't know during the day, Wang Yao said. I heard it from the villagers at night. Then I went to check the video. He obviously did it on purpose. Did you have a conflict before? Yes, there was a conflict the day before the incident. What's the reason? He spoke rudely and hit me, Wang Yao said. Are there any witnesses? Yes. He gave the names of a few people. They were all the villagers who had stood up to help that day. You trespassed into someone's house. I admit that, but he threatened me and my family. Wang Yao didn't deny this point. He directly agreed because there were also surveillance cameras in the factory. He couldn't deny it, so he directly admitted it. And he hit me first. He was justified in self-defense. Officer, it was justified in self-defense. I didn't have a weapon in my hand, but he had an iron bar in his hand. Just as he was asking questions, a man in his 30s wearing a suit entered the police station. He looked very refined. I'm sorry I'm late. Everyone, I'm Mr. Wang Yao's lawyer. I need to talk to him alone. It was Zhang Peng, the lawyer who left his contact information at the law firm last time. After being questioned, he immediately called Zhang Peng just in case. Sorry, I'm in Dao. I rushed over as soon as I received the call, Zhang Peng said. It's okay. I'll have to trouble you with this matter. Now, tell me the details of the incident in detail. Then, Wang Yao told Zhang Peng the details of the incident. Zhang Peng listened very carefully and took notes from time to time. Okay. Are you sure the factory is discharging sewage? Of course, I have photos here. Wang Yao took out the photos on his phone and showed them to Zhang Peng. Send me a copy right away. In other words, Li Dong hit you after seeing you take the photos? Yes. Okay, I see. That night, did you take the initiative to go to the factory? Yes. I want to reason with him. He hit my mother during the day. Wang Yao was very calm from beginning to end. Yes, before I came, I also looked into it. Li Dong has a criminal record, and the owner of the factory is related to a deputy county magistrate in the county, Zhang Peng said. Zhang Peng said, the reason for the retrial is that someone hired a water army to create publicity on the internet and create pressure. Why would they hire internet water army for such a small matter? It should be a coincidence, and the impact is not particularly big. Some leaders just happen to see it. Don't worry, you are in the right this time, Zhang Peng said with a smile. Okay, I'll have to trouble you then. Wang Yao transferred 3,000 yuan to Zhang Peng through his phone. After seeing the money, Zhang Peng's smile became brighter. After all, this matter was not a big deal, and there was not much attention. After losing continuous support, the post on the internet quickly lost its popularity and sank. Chapter 153. But soon, another post appeared on the forum. The content of the post was similar to the one that slandered Wang Yao. The general content of the post was that someone found a factory secretly taking photos of sewage. As a result, he was threatened by the factory staff. He was forced to defend himself and was slandered. This post also received a certain amount of attention. Moreover, there were photos in this post. The credibility was higher than the one that only had text description. Nowadays, people were generally more concerned about environmental protection. Therefore, there were relatively more people who forwarded the post. This time, the relevant departments acted faster, not only because of the post, but also because of the real name report. The informant was Wang Yao. Just when Wang Yao returned home, he saw the county's Environmental Protection Bureau's car enter the mountain village to inspect the processing factory. In a hotel somewhere in the county. You have to help me with this. You still have the face to say that. Environmental protection is so strict from top to bottom. You're just a mechanical processing factory. Where did the sewage come from? It's just some domestic water. You're talking nonsense. I have seen the Environmental Protection Bureau's inspection report. What domestic sewage, heavy metal ions seriously exceeded the limit, and COD seriously exceeded the limit. What is your factory doing? I do other things. You, don't be angry. How should I deal with this matter? Your factory definitely can't continue to produce. It will be closed down and stopped for rectification. I have only opened for a few days. I have invested all the money. The boss was anxious. You don't need that little money. Also, your people are well controlled. Don't spread news and rumors on the internet. Also, that Li Dong, make him behave. Yes. In this way, in a mountain village's discussion, the factory that had just opened a few days ago was closed down because of the environmental protection standards. It was required to stop production for rectification. The day of production again was far away. The mountain village was restored to peace. In the village, several village committee members gathered together for a meeting. This young man is really amazing. That's right. He beat a person to the point of hospitalization and shut down a factory, but nothing happened to him at all. In my opinion, it's good that the factory is shut down. It's noisy all day, and at night, they secretly discharge sewage into the river. Dead fish are starting to float in the dam below. Wang Jinli was smoking and didn't talk much. This young man is so capable. We have to get him to help our village. How can we help? Our village doesn't have anything. We need to think about it carefully, Wang Jinli said after putting out the cigarette. Because of this matter, Wang Yao didn't have time to do a lot of things these days. The shrubs that he had bought on the mountain hadn't been planted yet. After returning, he calmed himself down and used 2 days to plant the remaining trees. After these trees were planted, there was a sudden gust of wind from the north to the south. It passed through the mountain pass, and the trees were swaying. The wind was actually a little cold. From the beginning of the wind to the end of the wind, it took less than a minute. Woof, woof, woof. The dog seemed to have sensed something. It barked a few times and ran wildly on the mountain for a while. It seemed to be a little excited. What's wrong, Saint-Sien? Why are you so excited? Woof, woof, woof. The dog expressed its excitement and happiness with practical actions. The moment the wind blew, the battle array seemed to come alive. That day, Wang Yao received a call from Pan Jun. There was a patient who came to see him in the afternoon and asked him to take a look. In the afternoon, he arrived at the clinic. Pan Jun and the patient were waiting there. Pan, the doctor you mentioned is him? Although the old man had heard about it, he was still a little surprised to see it with his own eyes. Yes, uncle. Although Dr. Wang is treating you, his medical skills are very good, Pan Jun said with a smile. Dr. Wang, my uncle has been feeling tired recently. He has no energy. He went to the county hospital to see him, but they didn't find anything wrong. So, I came here to see him. Please take a look. Okay, Wang Yao said with a smile. Then, he checked the old man's pulse and asked a few questions. The old man's body was actually fine. The reason why he was not energetic was that his body had been suffering from a cold recently. The cold had not been seen externally. This cold was quite strange. Old man, you haven't been sick for more than 10 days, have you? Yes, it started last week. Have you been to any special places recently? I went to the grave last Wednesday. The wind was not strong that day, so I didn't go anywhere else. You've retired, right? Yes, I can't stay at home. I just found a job a few days ago, the old man said happily. Where are you working? Cemetery for martyrs, the old man said with a smile. What? Pan Jun was stunned. Why didn't you tell me about this earlier? You didn't ask. Old man, your illness is most likely related to your job. I advise you to change jobs. Why? I think it's quite good. It's just guarding the door and planting vegetables. My son found it with great difficulty. The cemetery for martyrs was a place with pine and cypress trees. Even in the middle of summer, it was very cold. It was the place where martyrs were buried and the resting place of the dead. From a metaphysical point of view, it was a place of extreme ease. Of course, from a medical point of view, the old man should walk more, bask in the sun more, and replenish his yang energy. Haha. If you listen to me, you could take a week of sick leave and try it out. You can also make some ginseng soup to nourish your body, Wang Yao said with a smile. It's that simple. The old man's expression showed that he did not believe it. Yes. Wang Yao nodded. Okay, I'll give it a try. When the old man left, Pan Jun gave him some ginseng slices for him to make soup. Dr. Wang, is his illness really related to the job? Pan Jun asked. The reason why he was surprised was not because of the illness, but because the job was quite ominous. It's related. The place with pine and cypress trees has more yin energy. When people are old, they don't have enough yang energy. It's not suitable to work in such a place. But I see many old people guarding the door in such a place. We didn't read their medical reports, nor did we check their pulse. Moreover, the location and structure of the cemetery are different. Some places are spacious and have good lighting. Naturally, there's no problem. It's not like you haven't seen the cemetery in our county. It's only the size of a palm. Except for a few houses, it's all pine and cypress trees. It's cold even in summer. Is this old man your relative? Yes, an elder. Can you ask him to change his job? Okay, I'll call his son later. This illness did not even need to be treated with medicine. Pan Jun gave Wang Yao an envelope as the fee for this visit. It was not much, just 500 yuan, but it was not little either. Thank you. The reason why Wang Yao thanked him was not because of the money, but because of the rare opportunity provided by Pan Jun. It's my pleasure. The next day, Wang Yao was thinking about the last step of the spirit-gathering battle array on Nanshan Hill. He was thinking about how to lead the spirit water into the battle array. Suddenly, he heard the sound of dogs barking. It turned out that someone had come up the hill. The person was Li Maoshuang. He was carrying something and was panting. Phew, I'm exhausted. What are you carrying? Wang Yao asked while making tea for him. The things you want. He took out a few things from his backpack. There were stone rollers, stone mortars, and sieves. They looked quite old. Take a look. Are these the things you want? Yes, these are the things. Wang Yao picked them up and checked them one by one. He had a happy smile on his face. Lally, you have a way. I asked a friend for help. How much is it? Forget it. Li Maoshuang waved his hand. You're rich, aren't you? Wang Yao asked. Although these things were not popular, they were still antiques. Wang Yao estimated that they could not be bought without tens of thousands of yuan. Sai, you don't say. Ever since my health improved, my business has also improved. It's really strange. I asked a master to take a look at me, and he said that I met a benefactor. Li Maoshuang pretended to be serious. Haha, you still believe that? Even the business people believe it. Even the richest man in Asia believes it. I guess my benefactor is you. Me? You see, after listening to your advice, my health has improved. My business has also improved. A few days ago, I went for a checkup with your sister-in-law. She is pregnant. It's really a string of good things. Haha. Li Maoshuang laughed happily. Congratulations. Can you take a look when you have time? Well, you can go to a regular hospital for a checkup. I'm not good at it. Wang Yao waved his hand with a smile. The two chatted for a while. Li Maoshuang said goodbye and left. He did not want to eat there no matter what. Well, this can't be. Wang Yao looked at the things Li Maoshuang sent over. I don't know what he likes. Wang Yao thought that he should give back something he liked. Politeness demands reciprocity between friends. Wouldn't it be too stingy to just accept and not give? I'll invite them to a gathering some other day. It was just past noon. The sun was still bright. Wang Yao was brewing medicine in the cottage. This medicine was brewed for Ms. Gua. This time, he did not use licorice roots as the main ingredient. Instead, he changed the formula. Without licorice roots, the medicinal properties and efficacy of the medicine would be very different. As for the price of this prescription, he had his own idea, which was to use twice the market price of the herbs. This price was actually very reasonable. All the herbs he used were wild herbs. Except for the herbs he grew himself. The rest were all purchased from Li Maoshuang. The herbs in the clinic could not be compared with the herbs in the clinic. Moreover, other people could brew several decoctions with one set of herbs, but he only brewed one set of decoctions with one set of herbs. Even so, one decoction cost hundreds of yuan. This price should be acceptable to ordinary people. However, the efficacy of the decoction was much worse. It cannot be brewed in ordinary places. At least they did not have ancient spring water or multifunctional pot for herbs. Chapter 154. Wang Yao finished decocting the decoction in the afternoon. Wang Yao was going to try another decoction the next day. It was the decoction for the extreme disease. Unfortunately, the next day, the sky was gloomy and it was drizzling. The weather was gloomy and not suitable for decoction. Wang Yao decided to delay the decoction. The extreme yang decoction had to be decocted on a sunny day. It's been almost 60 days, and there are only 51 patients left. Wang Yao looked at the progress of his task and was a little worried. Maybe I should have promised Pan Jun that I would go to Rinhe Clinic one day a week. In Wang Mingbao's shop in Lianshan Town Center, there was a man sitting opposite him. A man was sitting across from him. He was skinny and his eyes were lifeless. Brother, you have to help me. I'm begging you. Looking at the man in front of him, Wang Mingbao couldn't help but sigh. 2 months ago, he was still in high spirits, drinking wine and eating meat at the table, and walking freely in the business world. But now, he was tormented by his illness and was in such dire straits. He had tens of millions of yuan, but he couldn't buy back his health. Let me ask him for you. Okay, thank you so much. The man was happy as if he had caught the last straw. I don't care how much money you spend as long as you can cure my illness. After seeing his friend off, Wang Mingbao looked at the weather outside. It was drizzling. There weren't many people in the shop. He told the shopkeeper and drove out. In less than 20 minutes, he arrived at the mountain village. He held an umbrella and went up Nanshan Hill. The rain had just started. The ground was not wet and was not muddy. He heard dogs barking before he reached the herbal field. Who would go up the hill in this weather? Wang Yao stopped chanting and waved his hand. The natural classics disappeared. He looked through the window and saw Wang Mingbao. Why are you up the hill in this weather? Of course, I have something to talk to you about. Wang Mingbao entered the cottage and looked around. No TV, no computer, only a few books. I really admire you. All right, let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about you. He knew Wang Mingbao's temperament very well. There must be something urgent for him to come up the mountain on such a rainy day. There was a pot of tea, and the two of them sat facing each other. It was drizzling outside the house. Do you remember the patient I invited you to see last time? Wei Hai. Wang Yao had a deep impression of this person. Yes, he just came to see me again, Wang Mingbao said. He was so skinny that he looked like he was terminally ill. In fact, he did have selfish motives when he wanted to ask Wang Yao for help. He had business dealings with Wei Hai and wanted to improve the relationship between the two of them. This time, he came to Wang Yao because he couldn't bear to see that person like that. Have you had liver surgery? Yes, in the provincial hospital, Wang Mingbao said. You didn't see it with your own eyes. He used to be such a high-spirited person, but now he looks so lost and frightened. He is a completely different person. Where is he? He has already returned to hike. Well, ask him to come the day after tomorrow. I'll take a look, Wang Yao said after thinking for a while. Okay. Outside the window, the spring rain continued. In the house, The fragrance of tea lingered in the air. Wow. To be honest, don't you feel bored staying here all day? No. Taking care of the herbal field, reading, practicing martial arts, it's very fulfilling. Wang Yao said, practicing martial arts? What kind of martial arts? Tai Chi. Is it the slow Tai Chi that old people do in the park? Wang Mingbao asked with a smile. Yes and no. The name is the same, but the content is very different, Wang Yao said. Okay, teach me when you have time. Do you want to come to my grandpa's house for lunch? No, I'll just make do with the food on the hill. I won't go down the hill today. Forget it. I don't want to stay here. I'll go back to Lianshan County. Okay. After Wang Mingbao left, he checked the prepared herbs again. After confirming that there were no mistakes, he read several scriptures in the cottage. The next day, the wind was gentle and the sun was bright. It was a good day. In the cottage, Wang Yao had already prepared everything. He started a fire to boil the water and decoct the herbs. All the herbs were added according to the measured quantities. This was a new medicine. Wang Yao had never decocted before. He was not very confident, so he was extra careful. The efficacy of all the herbs was integrated into the ancient spring water. The sun outside was moving slowly in the sky. The fragrance of the herbs was getting stronger. When the sun was high in the sky, the last herb was added. The flower of the dangyang flower was red, like a dancing flame. It was a small flower petal and had no temperature. Holding in his hand, he subconsciously felt that it was hot. The flower petal melted when it fell into the hot ancient spring water. It dyed the medicinal soup into the color of fire. Seeing this, Wang Yao immediately took the multifunctional pot for herbs away from the flame. How is the effect of the medicine? Wang Yao looked at the liquid in the pot like a flowing flame. He gently scooped a spoonful of the liquid into his mouth and swallowed it. In an instant, he felt a warm flow into his stomach and then spread to all parts of his body at a very fast speed. It felt like drinking a mouthful of warm liquor or hot chili oil. Phew, is it a bit strong? Wang Yao scooped a spoonful of the medicine and went out. San Xian, come here. San Xian heard the sound and ran over. Come, open your mouth. This time, San Xian did not cooperate. Instead, he looked at him with a strange look. Hey, what do you mean by that look? This is good stuff. It's aphrodisiac. Open your mouth. In the end, San Xian drank a spoonful of the medicine. Then he began to bark and play on the hill. It felt like he had taken drugs. Well, it seems that the effect is there. It's just that the dosage needs to be controlled. Wang Yao looked at San Xian, who was playing on the hill and talking to himself. He had now felt the effect of the medicine in his body. His body was heating up. He went into the cottage and recorded his feelings after taking the medicine and San Xian's performance after taking the medicine. After the medicine was prepared, he could take time to go to Hike City and send it to the patient. He would wait for her to take the medicine and see the actual effect of the medicine. The next day, Wang Mingbao's friend arrived at his store early in the morning. Brother, have you talked to your friend? Yes, he will be here in a moment. Good. In fact, it was not that he had much understanding and trust in Wang Yao's medical skills. He was completely out of options. Last month, he made up his mind to have surgery in the provincial hospital. However, the effect was not very good. He went to the provincial hospital again. As a result, the specialist said that the focus in his body had begun to metastasize. Even parasites had appeared on his pancreas. It could not be treated with medicine. This time, he did not want to do it. Removing a piece of his liver was not effective, and now he wanted to remove his pancreas. Did that mean he would have to remove other body tissues in the future? Therefore, he went everywhere to seek medical treatment. He took Chinese medicine and faux prescriptions. However, his disease was not cured. He also ate something bad. He vomited and had diarrhea for more than a week. His health was getting worse, and he was getting more and more afraid. In fact, the more rich a person was, the more afraid he was of death. Occasionally, he remembered that he had seen a young man in Wang Mingbao's shop. He seemed to have said that he could treat his disease. Therefore, he came purely with the attitude of making every possible effort. What if it worked? Wang Yao rushed over at about 10 o'clock in the morning. After seeing Wang Mingbao's friend, he was shocked. He had seen this person a few months ago. He was fat and had a ruddy complexion. He did not look sick. However, now, he was skinny and his eyes were dull. He looked like a heavy smoker. "Hello, Dr. Wang." "Hello, Chairman Wei." "Hey, don't say that. You can call me Lao Wei or Weizi." "Let's see him first," Wang Yao said. "Okay." Just by looking at his complexion, listening to his voice, and smelling his smell, Wang Yao knew that his health was very poor. It had merged into his internal organs and reached even deeper. "This is strange pulse." Wang Yao was very surprised when he put his hand on Wang Mingbao's hand. Wei Hai's pulse in front of him was extremely strange. The pulse was thin and urgent. He felt like he was touching a knife. This was a sign of a critical illness. The pulse was dangerous to the liver. "I'm sorry." Wang Yao shook his head. "What do you mean, Dr. Wang? Your illness is very serious." "I'm not sure," Wang Yao said. "Please give a try," Wei Hai hurriedly said. Wang Mingbao was not sure, but he did not say that there was no way. This meant that there was still a glimmer of hope. "Let me go back and think about it. What medicine have you been taking recently?" "These." Wei Hai was well prepared. He took out a list from his pocket. On it was the medicine he had been taking recently, mainly the prescriptions. "Don't take these medicine anymore." Wang Yao made a few notes on the list. A person would take 7 or 8 kinds of medicine a day, including granules, decoctions, and a combination of Chinese medicine and Western medicine. There might be some conflicts. Even an iron body would not be able to withstand it. From this point, it could be seen that Wei Hai was really scared. He was really at his wit's end. Okay. After the diagnosis, Wei Hai insisted on inviting Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao to have a meal together. However, Wang Yao refused. "Your body is very weak now. Not only do you have to abstain from smoking and drinking, but you also have to avoid spicy and oily food. You have to pay more attention to your daily life. Exercise appropriately and don't overwork yourself," Wang Yao reminded him. Now, Wei Hai's body was basically broken down. On one hand, it was because of his illness. On the other hand, it was because he took medicine indiscriminately. On the other hand, it was because of the huge mental pressure. Okay. Wei Hai was as obedient as a primary school student. When he left, Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao walked him to the door. "How is it? The change is big, right? It's really big. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own eyes." Wang Yao sighed. "Can you cure this disease?" "The disease is incurable. I'll give it a try. I'm not a god," Wang Yao said with a smile. "You mean he's going to die?" "Yes. According to my estimation, the shortest is half a year. The longest is 3 years. It depends on his fate," Wang Yao said. "Even if I cure him with my current ability, I'm afraid I can only prolong his life." Strange pulse, to a certain extent, was an extinct pulse. Chapter 155. Let's help him. "I can't bear to see him like this," Wang Mingbao said. "Well, I have other things to do. I have to go." Wang Yao nodded. If Wang Mingbao hadn't asked him to, he wouldn't have cared about this matter. Drive safe. Wang Yao drove home and recorded Wei Hai's symptoms and diagnosis as fast as he could. He was not a saint who cared about the world, nor was he a bodhisattva who delivered all living beings from torment. He wouldn't treat every disease or patient. Just like Wei Hai, Wang Yao didn't have a good first impression of him. If it hadn't been for Wang Mingbao, he wouldn't have treated him. Since he had treated him, and it was a difficult and challenging disease, he might as well give it a try. The patient's health was very poor. The most important thing was to consolidate his corporeity. At the same time, he could consider appropriate treatment for the poisonous insects in his body. Wang Yao used one day to come up with a general idea. He still needed to think about some details and think about it more. The next day, he made an appointment with Tian Yuan-Tu and went to hike. The decoction had been decocted, so it was natural to give it to the patient. Tian Yuan-Tu had already told Secretary Yang about this matter, so he postponed several meetings in the morning to wait for his mother. When he saw Secretary Yang's mother again, she looked better than last time. It was probably because she had taken the regather soup. "Hello, Dr. Wong." "Hello, Secretary Yang." They didn't exchange any pleasantries. Wang Yao first checked his mother's pulse. After confirming that her physical condition was good, he took out the decoction he had decocted in advance. "This is the decoction I decocted. Drink a small cup first." "Okay." Secretary Yang's mother drank a small cup. The decoction was red, like flowing fire. After drinking it, she only felt that her stomach was hot. Wang Yao sat beside her and placed his fingers on her wrist to check the changes in her pulse. The heat spread quickly. After a short while, Secretary Yang's mother's face turned slightly red. She felt that her body was a little hot. This was a feeling that she had not felt for many years. This feeling lasted for about an hour before it slowly faded away. "Drink another small cup," Wang Yao said. "All right." Secretary Yang's mother drank another cup. This time, she felt almost the same as the first time, but it took a little longer. "It's working." Wang Yao had her take 3 cups in a row before stopping. For the next 2 hours, he checked her pulse every once in a while to observe the changes in her body. Even missed lunchtime. "Okay, this is how to use the medicine. 3 small cups every 3 hours and take them 6 hours apart," Wang Yao said. "If you feel uncomfortable or abnormal, stop taking the medicine immediately." "Okay." Secretary Yang invited them to have a simple meal because he still had something to do. After the meal, he expressed his gratitude to Wang Yao and left in a hurry. "He is too busy. Don't mind him." "I understand." Wang Yao and Tian Yuanda chatted with his mother for a while. After that, Wang Yao made sure that her body was fine again before leaving. It was already evening when they returned to Lianshan County. The two of them had something to eat in the county town. Tian Yuanda drove Wang Yao back to the village. In the next few days, Wang Yao went to Pan Jun's clinic 3 times in a row to treat 3 patients. The symptoms of the 3 patients were very similar. They all had headaches, but the hospital couldn't find the cause of their headaches. Wang Yao prescribed 2 doses of medicine for them. The first dose was decocted by himself. He directly wrote a prescription for the second dose and asked the doctor in Rinha Clinic to decoct it for him. After the 3 patients took the medicine, it was effective. They would naturally tell their relatives and friends when they went back. Therefore, some people knew that there was a young doctor in Rinha Clinic who specialized in treating headaches. The medicine was quite effective. Pan Jun was very happy with such a situation. Wang Yao's prescription was not afraid of outsiders. He directly left it in Pan Jun's clinic. He also took the prescription and showed it to an old Chinese medicine doctor he knew. After reading it, the old Chinese medicine doctor was surprised and said, "Wow, his medicine is a bit strange. Why doesn't he follow the ancient prescription?" But the patients who took the medicine said it was effective, Pan Jun said. "Well, it's good that it's effective. These herbs are relatively mild and do little damage to the body. It's not a big deal." After listening to the old Chinese medicine doctor's words, Pan Jun kept the prescription. The progress is good. Wang Yao looked at the changes in the task prompt. In less than 10 days, there were 10 more patients. It should be the effect of his consultation in Pan Jun's clinic these days. Pan Jun's sister's clinic seemed to have a lot of patients, so Pan Jun gave her a little more for the consultation fee. It was like a supermarket. If one product sold well, it would drive other products. This week, more patients came to Rinha Clinic. As the name spread, more and more patients would come to Rinha Clinic. Even when Wang Yao was not around, some patients with headaches would come to the clinic. They would follow the prescription, and the effect seemed to be good. At first, Pan Jun did not tell Wang Yao about this matter until one day, a patient came to the clinic and said that the more he took the medicine, the worse his headache was. This made the doctor in the clinic a little helpless. Pan Jun, who was still on duty in the hospital, rushed over after receiving the call. Faced with the aggressive patient, he had no good way to deal with it. Several doctors in the clinic did not have enough time to refuse. No one would stop this matter from happening to him. In desperation, he personally called Wang Yao to ask for help. This time, he first asked for the patient's address and then told him the matter tactfully. "What? Nonsense," Wang Yao said angrily. As a doctor, One of the most taboo things was to prescribe medicine without knowing the cause of the illness. He did not think too much about the prescription at all. He just wanted to save some trouble. He did not expect the clinic to use it as a universal prescription. Logically speaking, the medicine was quite mild. It was not a problem for ordinary people. However, it was not suitable for some people to take it. Pan Jun repeatedly apologized over the phone. He drove to the mountain village where Wang Yao lived. This was his first time here. The traffic is not very convenient. The road to the village was hardened with cement. It was an improvement compared to before, but it was a little narrow. It was difficult to pass by. After waiting for a while at the village entrance, he saw Wang Yao coming from the south. "I'm really sorry, Dr. Wang." While speaking, he carefully observed Wang Yao's face. He was afraid that Wang Yao would be angry and not cooperate with him. He would stop seeing patients in the clinic. "Hurry up and see the patient," Wang Yao said. Because of the prescription he wrote, he naturally had to solve the problem. Okay. Pan Jun drove very fast. In a short while, he arrived outside the clinic. The man was still waiting in the clinic. Wang Yao roughly guessed the problem when he saw the man. It was a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s. "I thought you ran away." His voice was quite loud. "How could I? Didn't I invite an expert here?" Pan Jun said with a smile. "Let's go, Mr. Zhang. Let Dr. Wang take a look at you." Him? The middle-aged man stared at Wang Yao. His expression was obviously doubtful. Yes, don't be fooled by Dr. Wang's young age. His medical skills are excellent. He cured the headaches of those patients. Then why didn't the medicine you prescribe have any effect? Why did my headache get worse? The middle-aged man asked. That's why we asked Dr. Wang to take a look at you. After a lot of persuasion, the middle-aged man finally sat down quietly and accepted Wang Yao's diagnosis. Wang Yao checked his pulse. After a while, he was slightly stunned. The cause of this headache was very strange. "How long have you been sick?" "Not long. Probably less than 10 days, the middle-aged man said. "In addition to the headache, do you feel any discomfort in your body?" "Nothing," the man said after thinking for a while. "Your abdomen should not be very comfortable, and this place is a little sore." Wang Yao reached out and pointed at his ribs. "Ah, yes. Now that you mention it, I remember." "It's true," the man said. "How did you know?" "Brother, there have been a lot of happy things recently, right?" "Yes. My wife gave birth to a big fat boy for me." "The market for ginger has been good recently. I happened to have a batch of it last year. My father's illness has also been cured. It's really a happy event." "Haha." Speaking of these things, the middle-aged man laughed again. "Ouch." Then he covered one side of his ribs. "It's starting to hurt, right? One side of your ribs hurts. Did your head also hurt a little?" Wang Yao asked with a smile. "Yes." The middle-aged man nodded. "Okay, you can go back," Wang Yao said. "I haven't seen anything. Why do you want me to go back?" The middle-aged man was a little unhappy. "You are not sick. If I'm not sick, why do I have a headache and a stomachache?" "The stomachache is because of a wrong breath. You will be fine after a while. The headache is because you have been happy these days. You laughed too much and were too excited, which stimulated your nerves." This explanation stunned the middle-aged man and Pan Jun. "You don't need to take medicine for your illness. I estimate that you will get better in 3 days." To be honest, Wang Yao did not expect such a situation in advance. Whether it was listening or asking, he could not see any obvious illness in the man. However, when he checked the man's pulse, he found that the man's heart was slightly abnormal. Looking at the man's complexion, he asked tentatively and then came to this strange conclusion. "Is it really okay?" The man was still worried. "Within a week, if you still have a headache, we will diagnose you for free." "Okay, then I will trust you again." After saying that, the middle-aged man left. After the man left, Wang Yao talked to Pan Jun about another matter seriously. "Don't use the prescription anymore." "Okay, I promise," Pan Jun solemnly said. A doctor with excellent medical skills and a dead prescription. He naturally knew which was more important. Chapter 156. In the future, take back all my prescriptions and destroy them immediately after you use them, Wang Yao said. "No problem," Pan Jun agreed without hesitation. "One more thing. All my prescriptions must use good herbs, Wang Yao said. The reason why his prescriptions were effective was largely due to the first decoction he brewed. He had seen the herbs used in this clinic. They were all common herbs. Some of them were even defective. They did not meet his requirements at all. He had to be responsible for his prescriptions. This matter made Pan Jun feel awkward. What was the purpose of opening a store and doing business? Money. Selling something for 50 yuan, the cost of which was 20 yuan and the cost of which was 30 yuan, were two completely different concepts. In business, there were always many shoddy goods that were sold as quality goods, and very few of them had enough money. Wang Yao's request really put him in a difficult position. Okay, I agree, Pan Jun said. He could use good herbs as long as the price was lower. Seeing the patient did not take up much of his time. After he went back, he recorded the special situation of the patient and wrote it in his notes. In the afternoon, Wang Yao was wandering around Nanshan Hill. He was thinking about the last step of the spirit-gathering battle array, which was to draw water into the array. He didn't need to draw a lot of water into the array. There was a spring on Nanshan Hill. It didn't produce much water, but it was very clear. It wouldn't dry up even in midsummer. When he was thinking about it, Wang Yao had already thought of using the spring water. At this time, the spring was already in the battle array. I can start from here. I can lead the water down and then dig a pool here. Wang Yao had a draft of this plan long ago. He did not know how many times he had seen it. Woof, woof, woof. Just as he was deep in thought, San Xian barked below. Someone came up the hill. It was a man and a woman. Hey, it's them. Long time no see. How have you been? The woman's smile was very beautiful. The person who came up the hill was Guisairu. He Qixing. They had not seen each other for a few months. Guisairu's neat short hair was long and draped over her shoulders. She was dressed very casually. She was beautiful because of her extraordinary beauty. She and Tong Wei were rare beauties. If Tong Wei was a rose, delicate and beautiful, then she was a peony, beautiful and beautiful. I haven't seen you for a few months. You've changed a lot. Guisairu looked around the mountain peak. She remembered that the last time she was here, apart from the chestnut trees and jujube trees, the vast expanse of Nanshan Hill was bare without any trees. Now, it seemed to be full of greenery. I was bored, so I planted some trees. Why don't you take a seat inside? Sure. Guisairu smiled. A table and a square stool. The tea was homemade camellia. Although it wasn't very famous, it was a rare top-grade tea. Good tea, but what kind of tea is it? He Qixing sighed. I planted it myself. It's just outside. Wang Yao smiled and pointed outside the window. I asked a local tea master to stir-fry it. Although it's not a famous product, it's not below the top 10 famous teas. How rare. You flatter me. Why are you here all of a sudden? I came out to relax, Guisairu said half-jokingly. I originally wanted to go to Dao City, so I came here to visit you. I hope I didn't disturb your cultivation. Not bad. How's the old man's illness? Much better. Thank you. You're welcome. During the conversation, Guisairu vaguely revealed that she wanted to invite Wang Yao to Jing City. However, Wang Yao smiled and changed the topic. Jing City was a place of turmoil. He didn't want to go. You seem to dislike Jing City, Guisairu said with a smile. A little, Wang Yao said without hesitation. Why? I don't want to get into trouble, Wang Yao said straightforwardly. What kind of trouble? I don't know. Wang Yao shook his head. It's just my intuition. Is a man's intuition reliable? Guisairu joked. Yes, it should be reliable. Guisairu and He Qixing stayed on the hill for more than 20 minutes. They chatted a lot with Wang Yao before leaving. After leaving Nanshan Hill, He Qixing suddenly stopped and looked back at the hill. He frowned slightly. What's wrong, Uncle He? There's something strange on the hill, He Qixing said after thinking for a moment. Strange? What's strange? Miss, didn't you feel it? He Qixing said. When we were on the hill, the mountain wind was very gentle and comfortable. However, when we were at the foot of the hill, the wind was much drier. Logically speaking, the wind at the foot of the hill should be gentler than on the hill. Well, now that you mention it, you're right. It's not just the wind. On the hill, breathing is smoother. It makes people feel more comfortable all day. It's not an exaggeration to say that it's like a spring breeze. Maybe it's because there are more plants on the hill. It's not as simple as plants. He Qixing looked up at the hill. After the two of them went down the mountain and walked for a distance, He Qixing stopped again and turned around. This time, he could see the whole picture of Nanshan Hill. The originally bare mountain was now planted with trees. They were tall and short and unevenly distributed. At first glance, there was no pattern at all. He Qixing's expression changed. How is this possible? How is this possible? He seemed to be in a daze. What's wrong, Uncle He? Seeing He Qixing's expression, Guisairu was a little surprised. Over the years, she had almost never seen the medical expert's expression. There were only a few times when she had seen him, and 2 of those times were here in this unknown small mountain village. I must have seen wrongly. It's impossible. He shook his head. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm sorry, Mississippi. I lost my composure, He Qixing said after coming back to his senses. Uncle He, what's the matter that you can't even tell me? Guisairu asked with a smile. There may be a battle array on the hill. I remember hearing you mention it last time. There's a 5-element magic battle array. It's not that one. It's another kind called Spirit Gathering Battle Array. Spirit Gathering Battle Array? Yes, it gathers the spirit of heaven and earth for one party to use. Isn't that something in novels? Guisairu asked. I used to think that the 5-element battle array only existed in legends, He Qixing said. But I saw it on the hill. This Spirit Gathering Battle Array is even more magical. Legend has it that it can borrow the spirit of heaven and earth. It has endless magical uses. Of course, this is just my personal guess. After all, this kind of mysterious thing has been lost for too long. If he had not learned so many things, and if he had not had an amazing teacher, he would not have thought in this direction. However, he had only seen this battle array once in an ancient book. The arrangement of the trees on the hill seemed to be irregular, but upon closer inspection, it was extraordinary. It was vaguely similar to the battle array in the ancient book. However, the ancient book only had a picture but no explanation, so no one could understand it. If this is true, then it's too shocking. I should tell teacher about this. He thought to himself, Uncle He, why do you think he doesn't want to go to Jing City? Is he afraid of trouble? What kind of trouble can there be? Is he afraid of attracting the attention of those people? Yes, the old chief's illness suddenly improved, so the situation has changed. I'm afraid many people will ask about the reason, He Qixing said. They won't be able to find out anything. They won't be able to find out anything in a short time, Guisairu said. But after a long time, some news will leak out. At that time, I'm afraid Dr. Wang's hermit life will be difficult to maintain. At that time, he will have to make a choice. Choice? What choice will he make? He Qixing looked at the half-hidden hill again. In such a world, can a hermit be tolerated? In a house in Hike City. Mom, your complexion is much better. Your face is rosy. Yes, ever since I drank Dr. Wang's decoction, my body has always felt warm. I even sweated in the afternoon, the elderly woman said with a smile. Sweating? Really? Hearing the news, the middle-aged man who was in charge of the government stood up happily. He was very clear about his mother's condition. Over the years, because her body was afraid of the cold, she almost never sweated. Even if she sweated, it was just weak sweat. This was the first time she sweated because of the heat. This also meant that her condition had improved greatly. Dr. Wang's medical skills are really brilliant. Yes, he is. I have to thank him properly. Excuse me, when will Dr. Wang come to see patients? Wednesday. Then I'll come again on Wednesday. Take care. In Renha Clinic, a woman in her 40s smiled as she sent off an old man in his 60s. This was already the 3rd patient in the past 2 days. She really wanted to see what the young man who was praised by her brother looked like. Sister. Pan Jun pushed the door open and entered. You're not on duty today? No, I'm off duty. Have you made an appointment with Dr. Wang to see patients here on Wednesday? Yes, he will inform me in advance if there are any accidents, Pan Jun said with a smile. That's good. I also want to see him. Miasma grass is the king. It's mainly used to kill poisonous insects. It also has to be combined with several other herbs to protect the internal organs. On Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao wrote down his thoughts in his notebook. He was thinking about the treatment method for Wei Hai. Fortunately, I have enough points. Wang Yao unexpectedly found that he could also receive rewards from the system when he went to see patients. However, it was very little. Ordinary patients could only receive 1 or 2 reward points. However, many a little makes a mickle, and the effect was not bad. I have to go to the clinic on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'll prepare to make a batch of pills and familiarize myself with it. I also have to dig a small trench to draw the mountain's spring water down. Wang Yao briefly listed the things that he had to do recently. I'm very busy. Although he had a busy schedule, he still had to practice every day. Even at night, he still had to recite a few scriptures before turning off the lights and going to sleep. Chapter 157. That day, the sun was still bright and beautiful. In the cottage, Wang Yao started to get busy after he finished his morning practice. He put the herbs he had prepared into a big pot to bake. When he felt that the heat was about right, he took them out and sorted them. Then, he used a medicine grinder or a stone mortar to crush them. His strength was extraordinary, and he was quite good at using antique tools. Soon, he crushed the herbs into smaller pieces and then sorted them. After repeating this several times, he finally ground all the herbs used to make the pills into fine powder. He sorted them and put them aside for future use. Then he took out the medicine board. This medicine board was also an antique. It was Tian Yuan-Tu who got it for him. Brush water. Sprinkle the powder. His arms shook gently. This was a technical job that relied on experience. What Wang Yao lacked the most was this experience. However, he had a very good mentality and was not anxious. If he failed, he would start again. Anyway, he had prepared enough powder. Brush water. Sprinkle the powder. Bumpy. After several times, the pills finally appeared in the medicine board. Wang Yao became more careful. From morning to evening, Wang Yao had been silent in the process of making the pills. He did not even have lunch. There were only 2 things that he was most afraid of: focus and perseverance. Wang Yao was very focused today. There were also results, which were the pills and the medicine board at the end. It seems to be a success. I just don't know how effective it is. He picked up a few of the pills and walked out of the cottage. Sanxian, come here. The dog heard him and ran to his side, gently wagging its tail. Open your mouth. Hearing these 2 words, Sanxian decisively stepped back and then looked at Wang Yao with its head tilted. Poop picker, what are you going to feed me? This is good stuff, Wang Yao said. It's a perfect tonic pill. It nourishes the yin and the kidney and harmonizes yin and yang. It's very good for the body. Come, have a taste. Finally, Wang Yao successfully put 5 pills into the dog's mouth. Then he stayed aside and quietly observed the dog's reaction. How is it, Sanxian? Do you feel any discomfort? The dog did not answer. It just stood there, wagging its tail and shaking its head from time to time. Yes, it's fine. You can go now. After saying that, Wang Yao did not immediately enter the house. Instead, he sat outside and observed the dog's behavior. After confirming that there were no abnormalities, he breathed a sigh of relief. There doesn't seem to be any problems with this medicine. Then, he threw 2 into his mouth. There is nothing more direct and accurate than testing the medicine with one's own body. After taking the pill, Wang Yao sat there quietly, feeling the changes in his body. After about an hour, he found that there were no major problems, so he got up. This medicine can be given to humans. The pills were made according to the method of the ancient prescription. As long as the amounts of various medicinal materials were accurately weighed and mixed by Wang Yao, there would not be any major problems. Moreover, he did not intend to give this medicine to anyone else. He only wanted to use it to understand the method of making water pills. He had already been clear about the process. After making it himself, he had a better idea in his heart. Then, he seized the time to experiment several times. He recorded the shortcomings and corrected them one by one. This ancient method of making medicine really has a lot of room for compromise. The more Wang Yao came into contact with it, the more he admired the ancient people. Just as Wang Yao was trying to make the pills, a person unexpectedly came up the hill. "Master Su, why are you here?" The person who came was Su Maosheng. He was carrying something in his hand. "I also made some new tea for you to try." Su Maosheng smiled and explained the purpose of his visit. "Well, thank you." Wang Yao originally wanted to refuse, but when he heard that the tea was made by Su Maosheng, he understood that it was a little kindness from Su Maosheng. He could not refuse, so he accepted it happily. "Come in and have a seat." Wang Yao made a pot of tea for him. "This tea smells so good. Is it Huangshan Maojian?" An expert is an expert. You can smell it just by smelling it. "It's all good tea." Su Maosheng sighed. "Is Annie feeling better?" "She's much better after taking the medicine. Now she can eat and sleep well. To be honest, I'm a little envious." "That's good. That's good." Wang Yao smiled and said, "As a medical staff, the happiest thing was to hear that the patient's illness was cured and her body was getting better. This was even more so for the ancient pharmacists." The old man and the young man chatted on the hill for a long time. When Wang Yao knew that Su Maosheng had come by car, he insisted on driving him home. He also checked the pulse of Su Maosheng's wife. The illness should be almost cured. You can change your constitution with some methods of diet therapy. You can eat some calming food. Wang Yao wrote down some ingredients for them. They were all common things. Eating more was good for the body, especially in the case of Su Maosheng's wife. "Thank you so much, Dr. Wang." "Auntie, you're too polite. I'll learn a lot from Uncle Su." "Hey, that's nothing," Su Maosheng's wife replied. "That's a treasure." These things, which were understood by fewer and fewer people, with a culture passed down in this country for thousands of years. Some people disdained it, some ignored it, and then it gradually disappeared. When future generations looked at it again, they could only find it through some history books and legends. These things needed to be inherited and promoted. Tea ceremony and traditional Chinese medicine were classics of ancient culture. The former flourished in modern Japan, while the latter was broadcast in Korea. It was obviously something invented by one's own country, but it was not as good as others. Gradually, the identity of the inventor was robbed. If this was not sad, what was? After chatting with the two kind old men for a while, Wang Yao said goodbye and left. On the way back, he received a call from Wang Mingbao, who said something that he had almost forgotten. The house he bought in Lianshan County had been renovated, and the smell was almost gone. It was ready to move in. Wang Mingbao asked when he would like to have a look. "How about tomorrow?" "Okay, I'll wait for you. I should tell my sister about this in advance so that she won't cause any trouble," Wang Yao thought. It was already evening when he drove home. When he arrived home, he found two distinguished guests in his house. They were his mother's cousin and her husband. They had been to his house after the Chinese New Year. This time, they were here again. "Yao, greet them," Zhang Xiaoying said. "Auntie, uncle." "Okay." Wang Yao sat down and chatted with them. After dinner, they stayed for a while and then left. "Mom, why did they come to our house?" Wang Yao could clearly feel that they must have come for something, but they did not say it in front of him. "Nothing much," Zhang Xiaoying said. "Your great-aunt is old, and her children are not around. She asked us to take care of them." "That's it?" Wang Yao asked. "Yes, that's it," Zhang Xiaoying said. "If they are busy, they can bring their parents to live in Beijing. The conditions there are better. Besides, they can also hire a nanny," Wang Yao said. He did not have time to take care of his parents, but he asked others to take care of them. Only a talented person could come up with such a method. The next day, Wang Yao went to Wang Mingbao's shop at the appointed time. He saw a car drive away from a distance. He knew the person. It was Wei Hai. "Hey, you came at the right time." Wei Hai just left, Wang Mingbao said with a smile after seeing Wang Yao. "I saw him. He came to ask again?" "Yes, he asked when you can treat him. He is very scared now. He relies on sleeping pills to sleep at night," Wang Mingbao said. "That won't do. His body is already very weak. If he takes sleeping pills, it will only make it worse. Call him when you have time. I will treat him within a week and ask him to stop taking those harmful drugs." "Okay, let's go and see your house." "Okay." Wang Yao drove Wang Mingbao to the place where he bought the house. The house had been renovated. There was no smell inside. The decoration was quite good. The style was quite simple and elegant. It was the kind of style that looked ordinary at first, but the more you looked at it, the better it looked. The materials used were good, and the air pollution was poor. Not bad, not bad. How much is it? Wang Mingbao named a price. It was very low, almost a cost price. Don't go back at noon. Let's have lunch together. Okay, call Lao, Li, and the others. I have to think about how to tell my sister about this. Hey, this is a good thing. You tell her. She will be happy. At noon, they gathered together. Tian Yuantu was on a business trip and could not come. It was just the three of them. They chose a relatively quiet farmhouse restaurant. The restaurant was recommended by Li Maoshuang. He said the restaurant was clean and the ingredients were good. They ordered a few dishes and a bottle of red wine. Wang Yao drove and did not drink. Wang Mingbao and Li Maoshuang both drank a little. Are you free next week? What? Brother signed up for a tour to Tibet and Xinjiang. It is boring for you to stay on a mountain all day. Do you want to go together? Li Maoshuang said. How long will it take? It will take 7 days to go back and forth. Forget it. Wang Yao thought for a moment. If it was 2 or 3 days, he could consider it. 7 days was indeed a bit long. Hey, I have a question that I haven't asked you. Do you have a girlfriend? Li Maoshuang asked. We are dating, Wang Yao said with a smile. Really? Your sister-in-law said a few days ago that she had a good girl and wanted to introduce her to you. Tell me, I don't have a girlfriend yet. Wang Mingbao hurriedly said. Okay, I will tell your sister-in-law later. The three of them chatted for a long time. After lunch, they went to Li Maoshuang's place for a while and tasted the spring tea he had brought. Then, Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao went to the nearby furniture store. They walked around and chose a few sets of furniture. Unfortunately, there was no stock except for the display items. They had to wait for 2 days. Chapter 158. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Wang Yao went to the Agriculture Bureau to find his sister. Oh, what a rare guest. What can I do for you? Wang Ru asked with a smile. I bought a house in the county town, and it's already been renovated. I won't be coming, so you can stay there, Wang Yao said. What? Wang Ru was shocked. Where is it? I'll take you there after work. Wait a moment. Wang Ru ran into the office building and came out after a while. Let's go. I've already applied for leave from my superiors. Let's go take a look at the houses. How many square meters is this? Looking at the renovated house, Wang Ru asked in surprise. 135. Stay for me? Ah, you can stay here first. I've asked around. The property management here is pretty good. There are supermarkets and restaurants nearby, and it's also close to where you live. What do you think? Good, that's great. I didn't take care of you in vain all these years, Wang Ru said happily. She had lived in the house she rented for a long time. All right, that's settled then. I'll bring more furniture over another day. I'll pay for it, Wang Ru said. There's no need for that. I've already checked it out in the afternoon and made a reservation, Wang Yao said. When the time comes, you could just come and stay. All right, to express my gratitude, I'll treat you to a good meal tonight. Forget it. I'd better go home. Just find me a brother-in-law when you have time. You're asking for a beating. Here's the key. Wang Yao handed the key to his sister. I'll call you when the furniture arrives. Okay, go back and tell Mom and Dad that I'll be home this weekend. It's not like he's an important guest. What's there to talk about? When Wang Yao returned home, it was already evening. His parents had already prepared dinner and were waiting at home. Went to the city again? Yes, the house has been renovated. I gave the key to my sister. He had mentioned the matter of buying a house to his parents earlier, but he did not go into detail. For your sister? Yes, I've installed it. I'm not staying here, so I'll let her stay. She has nothing to do anyway. Then let her stay for now. How is Tong Wei doing in Dao? It's pretty good, Wang Yao said. If you have time, try to contact more people. If you have nothing to do, you should go too. It's not that far from here. AI. Wang Yao could only comply with his parents' instructions. In fact, he hadn't called Tong Wei for the past 2 days. He only sent her a text message at night to check up on her. Usually, it was Tong Wei who took the initiative to call him. After going up to Nanshan Hill, he began to prepare for the decoction. He only selected a few herbs. except for the strong miasma grass. The rest were all mild tonics, especially good for the internal organs. After selecting the herbs, he read a scripture, as usual, before turning off the lights to rest. The next day, a warm breeze blew. This spring was getting warmer and warmer. A single leaf of miasma grass costs 30 exchange points. It's really expensive. To treat Wei Hai's illness, Wang Yao had all the herbs he selected. He could use them directly. However, the most important one, miasma grass, needed to be exchanged through the pharmacy. Although he had also planted this licorice root, it hadn't been long enough to meet the requirements. The decocting process of this medicine was relatively simple because there were very few herbs. There were only 5 herbs. Although there were only a few herbs, Wang Yao was still very careful because this was a new kind of decoction. The risk of failure was higher. The herbs were added one by one. The last one was miasma grass. The leaves were hard and straight, like the edge of a sword. It took a long time for it to melt in water. The decoction emitted a faint fragrance. It was done. Looking at the slightly warm decoction, Wang Yao was a little distracted for a moment. The decoction was ready. What should he use for the experiment? He subconsciously looked out of the window. As if feeling something, the dog lying in the kennel suddenly stood up and looked around. It's not suitable. He shook his head. The other herbs were fine, but the miasma grass was quite strong. If it caused some problems for the dog, the loss would outweigh the gain. Well, I'll put it aside for the time being, Wang Yao thought to himself. Then he started a fire again. He was going to brew a decoction, regather soup. Wei Hai's body had been damaged too much. He needed to consolidate his corporeity. Otherwise, he might not be able to withstand the overbearing miasma grass. Brother, when will Dr. Wang be able to make the decoction? I've told you many times this week. Wang Mingbao looked at Wei Hai, who had come to him 3 times in 4 days. He was really speechless. Hey, I can't wait anymore. Since Wei Hai's illness became more and more serious, he became more and more nervous. He was scared to death. He didn't care about anything else. His main energy was spent on finding a doctor. He even handed over the family business to his relatives. However, they managed it well. They made more and more money, but his health was getting worse and worse. This undoubtedly stimulated him even more. What was the saddest thing in life? A lot of money was still there, but the person was gone. Can you ask him about this again? Looking at Wei Hai, who was like a heavy smoker, Wang Mingbao was a little suspicious. Okay, I know. You should rest at home and don't come here again. Looking at Wei Hai, who was like a heavy smoker, Wang Mingbao was a little suspicious. Is this guy's illness contagious? No, I can't. After he leaves, I have to ask Wang Yao. After sending Wei Hai away, he called Wang Yao. What's the matter? Wang Yao was decocting regather soup. Wei Hai just came here and asked when I can treat him. Tomorrow, Wang Yao said. Okay. Hey, I have something to ask you. What is it? Is his illness contagious? The probability of contagion is very small, Wang Yao said. Why do you suddenly ask this? He has been coming here for the past few days. I'm scared. The probability is small, but isn't there a possibility of contagion? As long as you don't drink his blood, you can eat his meat. It's not a big problem. Wang Yao listened and laughed. That's good. I'll talk to him and ask him to come over tomorrow. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao concentrated on decocting the decoction. It took him nearly an afternoon to finish decocting the decoction. He had to go to Rinhe Clinic the next day. After that, he would go to Wang Mingbao's clinic. The weather was not very good on Wednesday. It was a bit cloudy and windy. Wang Yao drove to Rinhe Clinic first. Pan Jun had deliberately changed shifts to wait for him. There, he met the actual owner of the clinic for the first time. She was Pan Jun's sister. Her name was Pan Mei. She was a woman in her 40s. She was slightly plump and had fair skin. She took good care of herself. Hello, Dr. Wang. After seeing Wang Yao, Pan Mei greeted him very warmly. Hello, Ms. Pan. The 3 of them chatted in the office for a while. Wang Yao began to see patients. Hey, Dr. Wang, you're really here. Less than 10 minutes after Wang Yao sat down, a middle-aged man came in with a smile. It's you. Wang Yao had some impression of this man because his illness was a bit special. He had a headache caused by excessive joy. Hey, I've been here for the past 2 days, but I haven't seen you. How are you? Does your head still hurt? It's fine. It doesn't hurt anymore. My stomach is also fine, the middle-aged man said with a smile. Thank you. You're welcome, as long as you're fine. The middle-aged man said a few words of thanks and left with a smile. After he left, there was no patient in Wang Yao's room until around 10 a.m. An old woman in her 60s came into the clinic alone. After asking, she was assigned to Wang Yao's room. Hello, Auntie. Wang Yao looked at the old woman carefully. She did not look well. When she came in, she staggered. Most of her hair was white. Her back was slightly hunched. Hello, young man. Seeing Wang Yao so young, the old woman was slightly surprised. She thought for a while before sitting down. Are you not feeling well? I have a headache. I can't sleep at night. The old woman spoke weakly. Let me take your pulse. Okay. The old woman's arm was very thin. It was wrapped in skin and bones. Her body was weak. Her blood was not flowing smoothly. Her liver was stagnant. Her heart and lungs were injured. The old woman's health was very poor. Auntie, you should have more rest. Do less work. Don't be angry. Wang Yao said. I can't not be angry. My son and his daughter-in-law quarrel every day. The old woman sighed. Are you living with your children now? Yes, I'm taking care of my grandson for my son, the old woman said. When she was talking, the mobile phone in the old woman's pocket rang. The old woman took it out. Don't forget to pick up Xiao Tao in the morning. Last night, he said that he wanted to eat dumplings with leek fillings. Go and buy some mutton, I know, the old woman said. She looked a little angry and helpless. It said that we should raise a child to prepare for our old age. After hanging up the phone, the old woman sighed. Mom, you really come here? When they were talking, a graceful woman in her 30s came into the room. Didn't I say that I would take you to the hospital? It's not far from here. I can't have a look, by the way. The old woman said. Let's go. I'll go to the hospital with you. I have to pick up Tao Tao later. Ask Zhongling to pick her up. What is she doing at home? She doesn't take care of the child, cook, or wash the clothes. She is just a decoration. The woman said. You just listen to me. Don't stay here. You can go to my house or go back to your hometown. How can I? Ring. The old woman's mobile phone rang again. Don't. Before the old woman said a word, the phone was grabbed by her daughter. Zhao Hongren, do you have a conscience? I help you to pick up the child, cook, and wash the clothes all day long. But you let me live in the basement. What do you want your daughter-in-law to do? Do you want to worship her like a Buddha? The woman reprimanded her son sternly. She was so fierce that Wang Yao was stunned. Xiaomin, Mom, let's go to my house. The child is not only yours. They don't care whether they take care of him or not. The woman helped the old woman up and walked out. Miss, please wait for a moment. Wang Yao persuaded her with a smile. What's the matter? The woman turned around and asked. Aunt, you can't delay your treatment. If you delay it, it will become a serious illness. Wang Yao reminded her kindly. Chapter 159. What's wrong with my mother? The woman asked with a frown. Excessive worry, overwork, and poor blood circulation, Wang Yao said. I don't understand. Can you be more straightforward? The woman asked. The disease is in the internal organs and the brain. Wang Yao briefly mentioned the two parts. Thank you. Goodbye. The woman supported her mother and left. Obviously, she didn't believe Wang Yao, who looked very young at all. Goodbye. I hope you can listen to me, Wang Yao said. Wang Yao watched the mother and daughter leave. He didn't say anything else. What happened just now? Pan Jun asked after the mother and daughter left. It's nothing. The old woman's illness is serious. She is too tired to live. She needs to rest. Her daughter is brave enough to talk, Wang Yao said. After the old woman, Wang Yao didn't see another patient in the morning. At noon, Pan Jun came over and asked, Let's have lunch together. No, I have an appointment with a friend. I'll treat you another day, Wang Yao said. Okay. At noon, Wang Yao went to Wang Mingbao's place. They found a small restaurant, had some food, and chatted. When they returned to the restaurant, they found Wei Hai waiting for them. Brother Wei, you are so early. Not early, not early. Hello, Dr. Wang, Wei Hai said with a smile. After not seeing him for a few days, Wang Yao found that he had become thinner. A few days ago, he was like a heavy smoker. Now, he was like a living dead. Let me take a look at you first. Okay, let me take a look. Wei Hai hurriedly stretched out his arm. He was so thin that he was just skin and bones. After not seeing him for a few days, Wang Yao found that Wei Hai's illness was getting worse. The poisonous insects in his body began to move to his intestines. How can it be so fast? Have you eaten anything you shouldn't have these days? Wang Yao asked. No, Wei Hai said. What's wrong? Wang Yao found that his gaze was somewhat evasive, not daring to look directly at him. Obviously, he was not telling the truth. At this point, Chairman Wei is still not telling the truth. There is no need to see this illness. Wang Yao sighed. I'll talk. 3 days ago, I ate a folk prescription. Folk prescription? What folk prescription? This, Wei Hai said as he took out a list of folk prescriptions from his pocket. Wang Yao took a look at it and was shocked. The ingredients used in this prescription were actually all insects, scorpions, centipedes, geckos. Who gave you this prescription? My wife asked around for help. She said we can fight poison with poison, Wei Hai said. Fight poison with poison? Wang Yao rubbed his forehead. These insect medicines were poisonous in themselves. After taking them, not only would they not be able to kill the poisonous insects in his body, but they would also damage his already fragile internal organs in another way. This was not sending charcoal in snowy weather, but making things worse. Wang Yao was silent for a moment. His silence frightened Wei Hai. Dr. Wang, I really didn't mean to do this. I was just anxious. I know. I have 2 sets of medicine here. Take this one within 2 days, and then come to me. Wang Yao did not know what to say. After all, when people faced death, as long as there was a little disappointment in surviving, they were willing to try, no matter how unreliable the method was. Okay. Wei Hai took the medicine. Can I drink it now? Yes. Drink a little first and see how it works. Wei Hai took a big gulp and swallowed it. He could not wait. Sigh. Wang Mingbao, who was standing at the side, sighed. The man in front of him did not look high-spirited at all. He was like a drowning man, crazily grasping at every chance to save his life. If this continued, even if he did not die, he would go crazy. How much is this medicine? Wang Yao asked. He did not expect Wei Hai to transfer the money without hesitation after a phone call. Seeing this scene, Wang Yao thought of an old saying. If you had known this would happen, you would not have done it. The effect of the regather soup would soon appear, especially for people like Wei Hai, who had a serious physical deficit. Within half an hour of taking the medicine, he felt obvious changes in his body. This made him very happy. It undoubtedly gave him a shot of cardiac stimulant. Wang Yao followed and checked his pulse. Can I have another sip? Yes. Wei Hai gulped down 2 large mouthfuls. Go back and have a good rest, Wang Yao said. By the way, you must adhere to the daily precautions I told you. Don't take medicine recklessly. Ah, yes. Wei Hai nodded. He was as obedient as a primary school student. He said some words of thanks before leaving. He still dares to drive like this? No, he has a driver, Wang Mingbao said. He is really sad and annoying. If he had listened to others' advice, he would not have ended up like this. Wang Yao said, yes, if there is nothing else, I will go back first. Okay. In the afternoon, Wang Yao went back to the hill and made a record of Wei Hai's treatment. This kind of disease was very rare. It was a rare medical record. After he finished, he took the record. He went to the hill and began to dig in the position between the herbal field and the tree array. He wanted to dig a puddle here to store water. It did not need to be too big. This puddle would be the array, Eye of the Spirit Gathering Battle Array. Woof, woof, woof. Seeing Wang Yao digging, Sun Xian was very excited. He ran back and forth and sniffed the dug soil from time to time. Poop picker, what are you doing? Is there treasure in the soil? There were more stones in the soil. Wang Yao picked them out and put them aside. He was busy until the evening when he went down the hill to eat. Yao, are you free tomorrow? Wang Yao's mother asked while eating. Why? Come with me to the city to see your great aunt. My aunt's mother? Wang Yao asked. Yes. Okay, I will go with you, Wang Yao said. The next day, Wang Yao drove his mother to the city. They went to the supermarket to buy some things to see his great aunt, whom he had never seen before. The old woman lived in a good place. There were 2 floors and a large courtyard. It was the first time Wang Yao saw the old woman. She was thin and looked to be in good spirits. However, he felt a little uncomfortable. It was reasonable to say that the younger generation came to visit the old woman. She should smile and express her welcome. However, his great aunt was expressionless. She was neither cold nor warm. On the contrary, the chubby great-uncle was very enthusiastic. He took fruits and made tea with a smile. He was very friendly and warm. Wang Yao felt uncomfortable staying there. They stayed for less than 20 minutes and left. The 2 old women walked them to the door. Mom, my great-aunt doesn't seem to welcome us. She's like that. When I was young, she was a very serious person. Serious? Wang Yao smiled. Then you should come less in the future. I think you feel uncomfortable. Didn't your auntie come to see me? Since she came to see you, you must do it. I think the 2 old women are in good health. There won't be any problems in 3 to 5 years, Wang Yao said. Really? Of course. Why would I lie to you? When they were there, although Wang Yao did not check their pulse, he could roughly see through the method of listening. The 2 old women were breathing evenly. They were full of energy. Their eyes were bright. In addition, the great-uncle seemed to be a retired cadre of the National Tax Bureau. He went for regular physical examinations. If there was a problem, it would be found out. Well, actually, I don't like to come here, Wang Yao's mother said after being silent for a moment. Didn't your cousins make a fortune in Beijing? Don't be rude. They are your elders. I don't have any impression of them. Wang Yao was telling the truth. Except for his aunt and her husband, he had no impression of his so-called uncles. Let's stop in town later and buy some mutton. Okay. Wang Yao bought half a mutton in town. You don't need so much. My sister will be back soon. It's not much. He had 3 bowls of soup and a lot of meat at noon. In the afternoon, Wang Yao dug out the pool by himself. It was only a few square meters and less than 3 feet deep. He used the stones he had dug out to form a circle. There were not enough stones, so he took some from the hill. Well, it's almost done. After the pool was dug, he started to dig a ditch according to the route he had planned. The water in the spring was very small. The ditch did not need to be very wide. 1 line was enough. The next day, the sky was clear. His head was raised high and then fell down. A stream of clear water slowly flowed down the ditch, which was less than a palm wide. It then flowed into the pool that had been dug. The little bit of water did not stay. It all seeped into the ground. No rush. Take your time. Wang Yao scattered the dug soil under the trees. I feel much better after drinking the medicine. Can you talk to Dr. Wang and ask him to prescribe more medicine for me? Didn't he ask you to come back tomorrow? Wang Mingbao looked at Wei Hai in front of him. He was speechless. He was a little bit like a scoundrel. No, money is not a problem. It's not a problem of money. If he asks you to come back tomorrow, then come back tomorrow. I tell you, Dr. Wang hates people who don't follow the doctor's orders. If you continue to be like this, he may not be willing to treat you, Wang Mingbao said. No, I'll leave right away. I'll come back tomorrow, Wei Hai hurriedly said. Ever since he drank Wang Yao's medicine the day before yesterday, he really felt much better. This also gave him hope. It was as if he had seen a warm light in the endless darkness. It made him so excited that he almost cried. He had to seize this opportunity. No matter what conditions Wang Yao offered, as long as his illness could be cured, he would agree. Even if Wang Yao asked for half of his family's property, he was willing to do so. After he finished speaking, he got up and left. Sigh. Wang Mingbao sighed and shook his head. Humans really have unlimited potential. The sun was setting in the west. The mountain wind was a little strong. Swish, swish. The medicine board was shaking in a special pattern. There were dozens of pills in it. They were the size of rice grains. He brushed water. He scattered the powder. He shook the medicine board. The pills became bigger layer by layer. Wang Yao was practicing the technique of making pills to familiarize himself with the process. Chapter 160. Well, not bad. It's much better than last time, Wang Yao said with a smile as he looked at the pills on the medicine board. After making the pills, he put them into the porcelain bottle he had prepared. Phew, another day. Wang Yao stretched himself and went out of the house. There was a small pool of water in the freshly dug pool. It was very clear. Not bad. It should be full in 2 or 3 days. After going up the hill, Wang Yao practiced a few rounds of boxing on the mountain rock. His body moved according to his heart's desire, and his qi moved according to his will. It seemed that there was wind and qi moving in the palm of Wang Yao's hand. When the sun completely set in the west, Wang Yao also stopped practicing. He went down the hill and went home for lunch. I heard that there's a hot spring in the Li family ditch in the west, Zhang Xiaoying said while eating. Hot spring? Yes. I heard that it will be developed into a resort. Resort? Just a shabby road? Wang Yao laughed. It was not even 2 lanes. It was difficult to pass by. Who would come here? Not necessarily. People nowadays like to go to places that are difficult to go. The more difficult the road is, the more exciting it is to go, Zhang Xiaoying said. Hey, why didn't you wait for me? Halfway through the meal, they heard the sound of the door opening outside. Then there was a shout. Princess Wang Ru had arrived. Hey, why are you back? Zhang Xiaoying was surprised. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is the weekend. I called you in advance, Wang Ru said. We talked about the hot spring in the afternoon and forgot about you. Have you eaten? Zhang Xiaoying said with a smile. Ha. Wang Yao suddenly laughed. He looked very happy. Wang Ru stood there angrily. There is still some mutton soup in the pot. I will warm it for you. Wang Ru drank 3 big bowls of soup in a row, feeling that she was not taken seriously. Damn, sister, didn't you have lunch? Shut your mouth. As soon as Wang Ru came home, it became more lively with one more person. After dinner, the whole family stayed together, chatting and playing poker. It was very warm. What's Yao's plan for tomorrow? Wang Ru asked. I have to go to the city tomorrow. I have something to do. Wang Yao replied. He was going to see Wei Hai. Then why don't you tell your 2 door gods to let me in and take a look? What are you going to do again? Wang Yao was speechless. I need to find some herbs. No, I need to learn, Wang Ru said. No, don't even think about it. Wang Yao refused directly. If you want something, I'll go with you when I come back. Petty. Wang Yao was really worried about his naughty sister. If his parents went up to the mountain, he would definitely not say anything. His parents knew that it was not easy for him to grow herbs, so they almost never went into the herbal field. However, his sister's curiosity was quite strong. If she accidentally pulled out or stepped on some herbs, it would be too late for regrets. I'm going up the mountain. At night, the mountain was quiet. On the winding mountain road, a figure walked as if he was flying. Wang Yao was like this almost every night when he went up the mountain. Tai Chi was not always slow. There were times when it was as fast as thunder. He almost directly went from the village entrance to Nanshan Hill in one breath. After circulating his neishi several times, he went into the house. After reciting scriptures, he turned off the lights and went to sleep. The next day, he went to Wang Mingbao's shop at the appointed time. When he arrived, Wei Hai was already waiting there. Dr. Wang, you're here. As soon as he saw Wang Yao, he rushed up. His expression was like a long-lost relative who had come to see him. His eyes were filled with tears. His expectation was so deep. You're finally here. My shop hasn't opened yet, but he's been waiting outside. Wang Mingbao smiled bitterly. This morning, as soon as he opened the door, he saw Wei Hai get out of the car and go into his shop to wait for Wang Yao. Sit down. Let me take a look. Wei Hai sat down obediently. He couldn't wait to stretch out his arm. Wang Yao checked his pulse. After a while, he already knew what was going on. How do you feel these 2 days? A lot better, Wei Hai said. The medicine you gave me is really effective. That was not really good. Wang Yao knew that the medicine was just repairing his body and making up for the loss of vitality. It was not a cure, nor was it a method to make a watch. After drinking the regather soup, it must be effective. I have to try the medicine. Wang Yao took his hand away and thought. What's wrong, Dr. Wang? Wei Hai saw that Wang Yao didn't say anything. He couldn't help but feel a little nervous. He was now a little jittery. You're feeling better. I have another medicine that can kill poisonous insects, but the medicine is strong. It may be painful to take. It's okay. I can take it. Before Wang Yao finished, Wei Hai said, well, let's try it. Wang Yao took out the medicine with miasma grass as the main ingredient. Drink a small cup first to see how it works, Wang Yao said. Wang Mingbao took out a small cup. After pouring out the medicine, it was emerald green with a light aroma. It didn't look strong. Wei Hai didn't hesitate at all and drank it all in one gulp. The medicinal soup had a unique aroma as it entered his mouth, and there was a strange spiciness to it. About 10 minutes after he took the medicine, Wang Yao began to check his pulse and make a follow-up diagnosis. Tell me immediately if you feel uncomfortable. Okay. After about half an hour, Wei Hai's face became ugly. There was sweat on his forehead. What's wrong? Do you have a stomachache? Wang Yao asked immediately. Yes. Where? Here. Wei Hai pointed to the right side of his ribs. Liver? No. I have to go to the bathroom. After saying that, he rushed out. Before he reached the bathroom, he vomited in the corridor. He vomited blood. It was dark red blood. It was very sticky and looked like mud. Ah, there was a woman in the corridor. She screamed when she saw it. What's going on? Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao rushed out after hearing the scream. They saw Wei Hai holding the wall in a daze. There was a pool of dark red blood on the ground. Before they got close, they smelled a fishy smell. How could this be? Wei Hai was dumbfounded. Wang Yao bent down to take a closer look at the pool of blood. There seemed to be mud-like substances in it. Upon closer inspection, he found that they were tiny and almost invisible worms that were smaller than the ends of threads. They were wriggling in the rotten flesh, which was very horrifying. Okay. Wei Hai's body suddenly trembled, and then he hurriedly rushed into the bathroom. After a while, he came out. What is this? Wang Mingbao looked at the pool of blood on the bright ground. He could even vaguely see something moving in it. He couldn't help but shiver. All the hair on his body suddenly stood up. Clean up these things immediately and add disinfectant, Wang Yao said to Wang Mingbao. Okay, I'll deal with it right away. He immediately asked someone to clean up the pool of blood tissue that emitted a fishy smell. He then treated the ground with disinfectant several times. The whole corridor was filled with disinfectant. Next time, if you treat him, do you want to change a place? Wang Mingbao asked. Businessmen were very superstitious. Seeing blood was not a good sign, especially when it was in their own shop. Moreover, the blood looked a little scary. After coming out of the bathroom, Wei Hai seemed to have lost his soul. He walked lightly. Dr. Wang, what's going on? Why did I vomit blood? Did I just poop blood? Although his disease was serious, he had never vomited blood so seriously. The medicine you just took has the effect of killing insects. There are a lot of parasites in the blood you excrete, Wang Yao said. Should I drink some more? Wei Hai was stunned for a moment. He thought it was true. So, he took the medicine that could kill insects again. Don't drink it. Wang Yao immediately stopped him. He didn't expect the medicine to be so strong. Wei Hai's current body couldn't withstand such continuous torture. Well, I'll decoct another regather soup. You can take it with this medicine, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. Okay, I'll wait here. No, you don't need to. Come back tomorrow. Dr. Wang, I bought a shop nearby. It's not far. How about I wait for you there? Okay. After that, Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao went to see the place Wei Hai mentioned. It was only 50 meters away from Wang Mingbao's shop. It was indeed rented. Surprisingly, it was not the seafood shop that Wei Hai sold, but a tea shop. I'll wait here. What do you think? Okay, no problem. After seeing Wei Hai, Wang Yao went home. He prepared the herbs to decoct the regather soup. He didn't need many herbs, so he asked Li Mao Shuang to buy some. This medicine is really strong. In his notebook, he recorded Wei Hai's reaction after taking the miasma grass potion in detail. One is strange and one is normal. They complement each other. He had more insights and ideas about medicine. Being enlightened by the system and being able to apply what he had learned were two completely different things. While Wang Yao was busy on the hill, his mother called him and asked him to go down the hill. She said it was an emergency. He hurried down the hill and went home. "What's the matter, Mom?" "Your wife is pregnant." "Ah." Wang Yao was stunned. "What does this have to do with me?" It took him a long time to come up with such a sentence. "Don't you know medicine? Can you see if it's a boy or a girl?" Zhang Xiaoying asked. "So that's why you asked me to come down in such a hurry?" Wang Yao was speechless. He thought, what the hell is this? This is not a small matter. It's not like you don't know that your grandma and grandpa are almost sick from missing a grandson. Chapter 161. "Well, I really don't know how to tell," Wang Yao said. "Medicine is so advanced now, and the testing equipment is also very advanced. You can find someone to do an ultrasound for you. Besides, what era are we living in now? Men and women are the same." "You may think so, but your grandma and grandpa don't think so," Wang Yao said. What Zhang Xiaoying said was right. Although equality between men and women was advocated nowadays, there was still a phenomenon of preference for boys over girls in some places, especially some elderly people who liked grandchildren and boys. "Well, go do what you need to do." Zhang Xiaoying waved her hand. "Hey, wait, do you have any herbs that can promote fetal development?" Wang Yao was completely defeated. His mother was so nervous about his wife's pregnancy. "Mom, I don't have anything to eat now. Pregnant women don't lack nutrition. Just don't eat too much." In the end, Wang Yao gave up the idea of going up the hill before lunch. Instead, he went online at home and searched for some information. After lunch, he went up the hill and decocted the herbs he had prepared, regather soup. The next day, when Wei Hai saw regather soup, he almost snatched it from Wang Yao's hand and almost drank it. If Wang Yao hadn't said something, he would have drank it. "I told you to take it together with me." Cough, cough, cough. Wei Hai almost choked to death. 2 cups of regather soup a day and half a cup of deworming powder a day. Don't be afraid whether you vomit blood or have a bowel movement. "Yes, yes, yes." Wei Hai nodded and said yes 3 times in a row. "Rest more. Don't think too much." Okay. As soon as they stepped out, they saw a white Porsche parked in front of the tea shop. A graceful middle-aged woman came out of the car. "Why are you here?" Wei Hai asked after seeing the woman. He didn't look very happy. "I came to see you. Have you seen the doctor?" The woman asked as she put down her bag. "Yes," Wei Hai said. "What did he say?" "He prescribed 2 sets of medicine." "What medicine is it? Is it effective?" The woman sat down and took off her sunglasses. She looked to be in her 30s. She wore light makeup and had a pretty face. She looked a little anxious. "It should work. You don't have to worry about this matter. Just stay at home and take care of the child." Wei Hai seemed to be rather impatient. "I don't care. You're my husband. Don't take medicine like last time. It didn't cure you, but made you worse. I already said that I don't need you to care about me. It's so annoying." Facing his wife, Wei Hai did not have the respect and caution he had when facing Wang Yao. Instead, he was impatient and even a little disgusted. "Where's the medicine?" The woman's voice remained gentle. "What? I'll take it for testing. What if it's harmful?" "I know best whether it's harmful or not." Listening to their conversation, they didn't sound like a couple who had lived together for more than 20 years. Instead, they sounded like 2 people who had conflicts. "I've made an appointment for you in Beijing. It's next Wednesday. That Professor Su from last time said that there might be a way." "Okay, got it." Wei Hai waved his hand impatiently. "Then I'm leaving. You don't have to worry about business. Xiao Meng and Xiao Shu are doing well. They just miss you a little. Do you think it's appropriate for me to see them like this?" Ever since he got this disease, he became like a heavy smoker. Wei Hai hardly saw his children. Firstly, he was afraid that they would be scared. Secondly, he was afraid that his disease would spread to them. "I'm leaving. Call me if you need anything." His wife pushed the door open and left. She stayed there for less than 10 minutes. Sob. Wei Hai covered his face, and tears flowed down. He was afraid of death. He was afraid that he would never see his children again. He was afraid that his parents would be heartbroken. He really wanted to live. In the tea shop, a grown man like him was crying his eyes out. He didn't see that outside the glass window, two people were looking inside and happened to see him crying. Sigh. I suddenly feel that he's so pitiful. Wang Mingbao sighed. There are many pitiful people in this world, Wang Yao said calmly. Be honest, are you confident? To be honest, I'm not confident. Wang Yao's words were still calm, even if it was a matter of life and death. If he wasn't confident, then he wasn't confident. The diagnoses of a few big hospitals and several experts weren't just for show. He was still a rookie after all. If he really became a great pharmacist, this kind of illness shouldn't be a problem. Unfortunately, there was still a long way to go. But I'll try my best. Since he had promised to treat the disease, he had to do his best. Otherwise, he would be wasting his ability. I have faith in you, Wang Mingbao joked. What? Wang Yao was stunned. Huh, I believe in you. There won't be a problem. Let's go. Wang Yao turned and left. Wang Mingbao looked at him again. The man was still crying softly like a helpless child. After crying, Wei Hai raised his head and carefully took out 2 bottles of medicine from his arms. This was a life-saving straw. He had to grab it. Yao, do you have something on your mind? During dinner, Zhang Xiaoying seemed to find her son seemed to be lost in thought again. Nothing, just thinking about something. Wang Yao raised his head and smiled. He was thinking about Wei Hai's matter today. He had only seen a man cry before on TV. This was the first time he saw it in real life. It really touched his heart. Are you thinking about my sister-in-law? Wang Ru asked with a smile. No, don't be shy. Wang Yao was too lazy to explain. In the afternoon, the village secretary, Wang Jianli, came to Wang Yao's house to deliver an invitation. His daughter was getting married this month. Congratulations. Thank you. Come to the wedding banquet. Sure. He also deliberately chatted with Wang Yao for a while. Ah, look at other people's daughters. She's getting married at 23. Some people are almost 28, but they don't even have a clue. It's worrying. Zhang Xiaoying said this in a loud voice. She deliberately said it for someone to hear. Crunch. Wang Ru took an apple and ate it mindlessly. It was as if she didn't hear what her mother said. This child. I'm going out. Wait, I'll go with you. Wang Ru hurriedly said when she heard Wang Yao was going out. What are you going to do again? Wang Yao felt a headache coming. I'm going up the mountain to learn about herbs from you. Why do you want to learn this? It's a hobby. Let's go. Wang Ru talked all the way up the mountain. Hey, when did you dig a puddle? Looking at the puddle next to the cottage, Wang Ru was surprised. The water in the pond was already 1/5 full. I just dug it. The herbs I took from you last time were quite useful. My colleague asked me to thank you. It's okay. You'd better not do such things in the future, Wang Yao said. Why? It's not easy for me to grow these herbs. I need some today and some tomorrow. There are at least 180 people in your company. My herbs are not enough for you to share, Wang Yao said. Hey, don't go over there. Seeing that Wang Ru still wanted to go inside, where there were more licorice roots, Wang Yao was afraid that she would do something strange on a whim, so he stopped her in time. Why? Some of the herbs there emit a special smell. You'll be poisoned, Wang Yao said. Poisoned? Hearing this, Wang Ru hurriedly took a few steps back. You'll be poisoned? Scorpions are poisonous, so are centipedes. They can also be used as medicine. You won't be poisoned here, right? No, I'll be careful. Wang Ru walked a few rounds on the mountain. She was quite interested, but soon felt bored. What good things do you have other than good tea? Yes. What? Wang Yao first pointed outside the house, then waved the Taoist scriptures in his hand and smiled at his sister. The bright spring outside the mountain, the fresh air. I also have several volumes of Taoist scriptures here. The Taoist culture has been passed down for thousands of years. Do you want to take a look? Hey, I found that your values and outlook on life have changed after staying on a mountain, Wang Ru said. You don't understand. This is a spiritual sublimation. Spiritual sublimation? I'm so bored. I'm going down the mountain. After staying on the mountain for a little more than half an hour, Wang Ru felt bored and turned to go down the mountain. Hey, why do I feel strange on the mountain? After going down the mountain, she looked back at the mountain. When she was on the mountain, she felt very comfortable. Phew, finally gone. Looking at the system's task in Wansheng, he rubbed his forehead. It's still more than 20 days. I need to get the approval of more than 30 people. In a house in Lianshan County, a man was lying on the toilet and vomiting. Blood and undigested food were vomited out together. Phew, phew. The man gasped for air. He vomited all the vomit in his stomach. Then he got up and washed his face. He looked at his pale face in the mirror. His eyes were sunken, and he was all skin and bones. I want to live. He clenched his fists. He had just drunk half a cup of decoction. In less than an hour, he had such a reaction. He took a deep breath and went back to his bedroom. He took out another decoction, poured 2 cups, and drank them. Not long after, his expression seemed to be relaxed and comfortable. Hey, I should have listened to his advice. Too many people had said similar things. Unfortunately, time could not be turned back. There was no medicine for regret in the world. Even if Wang Yao became a great pharmacist, he would not be able to decoct such a decoction. Thousands of miles away, in Beijing, in a quiet courtyard house, 2 old men with white hair and beards were. Sir, I'm begging you. I can't watch Xiao Xue go on like this. You're making it difficult for me. Forget it. I'll break my promise for a while. You find a suitable person. I'll ask Xiao to take him there. But I have to say in advance that you can't use force. Whether this thing works or not, you can't ruin people's lives. Yes, you can rest assured. Chapter 162. At night, some people left the capital and headed south. Miss Gua, don't call me that. Just call me Cyrus, Cyrus said. Uncle Gu, did you make a promise before going? Yes, the chief told me before I left, Cyrus said. That's good, Cyrus said. Was he going back on his word? Cyrus received a call from her grandpa and went back to find out what had happened. She was unwilling to do so. After all, she had made a promise to Wang Yao. However, she also knew about the situation of the girl who was 2 years younger than her. If she were in Wang Yao's shoes, she might not even have the courage to live. Let's make an exception this time. Our Gua family owes him another favor. This was what her grandfather said before she left. How can I return the favor? They got off the plane in Dao and met up with He Qixing, who had been waiting for them. Miss, Brother Gu? He Qixing was surprised to see them. Cyrus didn't tell him the details before they came. She only said that she was going to ask Wang Yao for help. It's been a while, Qixing, the middle-aged man said. Yes, it's been a while, Cyrus said. Let's talk on the way. Let's go to hike, Cyrus said. Okay, Cyrus said. We're here to ask him for help, Cyrus said. Help me think about what to say. Ask him to treat your illness? He Qixing asked. Yes, Cyrus said. Where's the patient? Cyrus asked. He's not here. He's in Jing City, Cyrus said. Is it that lady? He Qixing asked. Yes, Cyrus said. That's troublesome. You know he doesn't like to go to Jing City, He Qixing said. That's why I want you to help me think about how to persuade him. It's difficult. He Qixing shook his head. Why doesn't anyone go to Jing City? A middle-aged man in his 40s asked. I wish I knew, Cyrus said. He doesn't just want to go. It sounds like there's no room for negotiation. Brother, you have to be mentally prepared, Cyrus said. The man with the surname Gu frowned when he heard this. If the matter was really as the two of them said, then it would be really difficult to handle. If he had something to ask of someone, he couldn't use force. Could it be that he had to use influence? But in terms of influence, the Gua clan was more powerful. Even that couldn't change his mind. What kind of person was that? On one hand, he felt that this matter was difficult to handle. On the other hand, he was becoming more and more interested in this mysterious figure that he had never met before. The 3 of them arrived at the best hotel in Hike City and checked in. Uncle He, I'll have to trouble you to make a trip tomorrow and see if you can invite that person over. All right. Cyrus didn't go to Lianshan County directly because she didn't want to disturb Wang Yao directly. Instead, she wanted to test his attitude through He Qixing. If his attitude was very tough and there was no room for negotiation, then they could only think of other ways. I hope his stubborn thoughts can loosen a little, Cyrus said softly as she looked out at the night view of the city, which was very different from the capital. What are you busy with? It's nothing. He's sitting outside. Are you on a hill again? Yes, he's outside. He's looking at the sky and talking to you on the phone. Wang Yao was sitting outside the cottage and talking to Tong Wei on the phone. Are you busy in Tao? It's fine. I've been quite busy recently. The conversation between the two of them was as usual. There were no vows of eternal love. Most of it was trivial, but it showed their true feelings. I'll go back next week. How about I come and pick you up? Okay, I'll call you when I get there. Okay. The next day, Wang Yao was still familiarizing himself with the process of making the pills when he was interrupted by 2 consecutive phone calls. One of the calls was from Tian Yuan-tu. Tian Yuan-tu asked him to find time to diagnose Secretary Yang's mother and see the effect of the treatment, because she had been taking the decoction made by Wang Yao for some time. The second call was from He Qixing. The purpose of his call was simple. He wanted to ask if Wang Yao was at home and said that he would drop by to visit him. He Qixing came to Nanshan Hill around 10 a.m. with some simple gifts. Of course, they were simply packaged. However, Wang Yao was no longer the young man who had never come into contact with high-end goods. He could tell at a glance that the gifts were expensive. Didn't I tell you not to bring anything when you come? He Qixing smiled and didn't say much. Let's talk inside. It was a simple cottage with a pot of tea. During the short conversation, He Qixing expressed the purpose of his visit in a more tactful way. However, Wang Yao still refused without hesitation. He wouldn't go to Beijing now. Although he was mentally prepared before he came, he was still a little disappointed. Sigh, it seems that I have to ask Miss Wang to come here in person. Okay, I won't bother you. Wait a minute. You and Miss Guo both want to invite me to Beijing. What's your purpose? Wang Yao asked curiously. To treat patients. Treat patients? There are so many famous doctors in Beijing. With your status, I'm afraid that it's not impossible to invite a national medical expert, right? Wang Yao asked with a smile. There are some diseases that even national medical experts can't treat. What can I do there? Wang Yao asked rhetorically. In my opinion, your medical skills are no worse than those famous doctors. He Qixing said, the efficacy of a decoction you made is even better than those national medical experts. That was true, and Wang Yao also believed it. In addition to the vast amount of knowledge, there were also the mysterious licorice roots. Perhaps those national medicine masters had profound medical knowledge and experience, but they didn't have the licorice roots to use. In fact, the old man didn't take all of the regather soup made by Wang Yao. He left a very small part and sent it to a special laboratory to analyze the composition of the decoction. They wanted to be able to decipher and imitate the decoction because the effect of the decoction was a little too magical. However, they were disappointed. They could only analyze a part of the composition of the decoction, and it was all herbs that could be found in the market. However, they couldn't effectively analyze some of the ingredients, so they couldn't copy the decoction. Just like in industrial production, 30% of the technology and 70% of the equipment, there was a similarity. Good medicine mainly depended on the herbs. If it weren't for the old man's strict order that only a few people knew about this matter, and that they were not allowed to disturb the old man's daily life, some people would have already found Wang Yao and used all kinds of means to force him to tell them the prescription. They would have used all kinds of methods to force him to tell them the prescription. This was the reality. Without absolute strength, holding a treasure was no different from suicide. You flatter me. Sorry to bother you. Since the old man had come and asked him questions, Wang Yao knew his attitude. There was no need for him to stay there any longer, so he directly left. Going to Beijing to see a patient? Looking at He Qixing going down the hill, Wang Yao frowned slightly. He had a hunch that this trouble wouldn't be resolved so easily. He Qixing drove back to hike and met Guosairu and the man surnamed Gu. He didn't agree? Guosairu asked as soon as they met. No, he refused very straightforwardly, He Qixing said. He didn't mention any conditions, the man surnamed Gu asked. No, as soon as I mentioned Beijing, he refused without hesitation, Guosairu said. Does he have any enemies in the capital? We don't know about that. Well, Miss Gua, don't tell him you didn't tell him about your family, right? The man surnamed Gu said very tactfully, but Guosairu and He Qixing could understand the meaning of his words. The so-called family background. Who am I? I have an old man in my family. What is he doing in the court now? That was probably the meaning, to show one's power and ability. No. Guosairu shook her head. No wonder. You should have told him more, the man surnamed Gu said. If he knew, maybe he wouldn't be so resistant to the trip to Beijing. Well, what Uncle Gu said makes sense. Guosairu thought for a moment. Previously, she didn't tell Wang Yao about her family situation because she had her own considerations. Now, it seemed that there was no problem to disclose it appropriately. After all, through this period of contact, she had a good understanding of Wang Yao's character and character. I think too much. How about this? Uncle Gu and Uncle He wait here for a while. I'll go and talk to him. You don't have to go. How about I go? He Qixing asked. No, it's more appropriate for me to go personally, Guosairu insisted. In the afternoon, Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu went to hike to see Secretary Yang's mother. After treatment, they found that the accumulation of cold toxins in her body was reduced. Although it was only a small part, it showed that Wang Yao's medicine was effective. How do you feel? Asked Wang Yao. After taking the medicine, my body feels much better. I feel very warm. I even sweated a while ago. That means the medicine is effective. How about this? I'll make a few more medicine. Take it for a course of treatment and see the effect. Okay, said Wang Yao. This time, Secretary Yang was very busy. The inspection team from the province needed him to accompany them. However, he arranged for people to take care of Wang Yao and specifically told them to treat him well. It's still early. Let's not eat here. Let's go back to Lianshan, said Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu. Okay, said Wang Yao. The two of them went back to Lianshan. On the way back, Wang Yao received a phone call from Guosairu. She asked where he was and if she could meet him. Coincidentally, both of them were in Lianshan. The two of them agreed to meet at a cafe near the sea. This was the first time Tian Yuantu saw Guosairu. When they first met, he was secretly shocked. It was not because of her beauty, but because this woman seems to have seen me somewhere before. Introduce her. Wang Yao introduced Guosairu to them. Chapter 163. I won't disturb you. I'll wait for you over there. He could tell that Miss Guo wanted to talk to Wang Yao alone, so he took the initiative to go to another seat and ordered a cup of coffee. He sat there and looked at the sea view outside, searching in his mind. Who is this person? I feel like I've seen her somewhere before. What a coincidence. I didn't expect you to be in hike, Guosairu said with a smile. Yes, I happened to come here with a friend. Then I'll get straight to the point. I want to ask Dr. Wang to go to Jing City to see a special patient, Guosairu said. I told Brother He yesterday that I don't want to go to Jing City. Wang Yao refused again. I can guarantee that I won't cause you any trouble, Guosairu said. Wang Yao just smiled and didn't answer. Mission: cure 10 cases of difficult-to-treat diseases. Time limit: half a year. Reward: a medical book, a prescription. Punishment for failure: unable to use the system for 3 months. At this time, he suddenly heard the system prompt. Difficult-to-treat diseases. 10 cases, 3 months? This mission is too strange. Why didn't it appear when I met Secretary Yang's mother? Why didn't it appear when I met Mr. Sun? Why didn't it appear when I met Wei Hai? Why did it appear now? 10 cases seemed to be a small number. Half a year sounded like a long time. In fact, this mission was quite difficult to complete. It was the most difficult mission Wang Yao had encountered so far. First of all, what was difficult to treat disease? In simple terms, diseases that were difficult to diagnose or treat were collectively referred to as difficult-to-treat diseases. According to the system's definition, diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, which were classified as difficult-to-treat diseases in modern medicine, could be directly excluded. Difficult to diagnose, difficult to treat, and long-term illness determined life and death. These were difficult-to-treat diseases. According to the system's definition, they were only slightly better than those terminal diseases. There were 2 difficulties in this mission. First, it was very difficult to encounter difficult diseases. Of course, terminal diseases, such as cancer, were not included in this list. Wang Yao's luck was pretty good. He encountered a few in a row. Secondly, difficult and complicated diseases were extremely difficult to treat and could not be cured in a short period of time because most of these diseases had already penetrated deep into the internal organs. Even if Wang Yao used licorice roots to make medicine, it could not be reduced in a short period of time. This could be seen from the treatment of Secretary Yang's mother. In addition, there was another important point. Even if they encountered a difficult disease, why would they believe that Wang Yao could treat it? He was so young, and he didn't even have a medical qualification certificate. This was a sudden and ridiculous mission. What's wrong, Dr. Wang? Guosairu asked softly when Wang Yao didn't speak for a long time. It's nothing. I was thinking about something, Wang Yao said, coming back to his senses. What do you think about what I just said? I remember. Tian Yuan too, who was sitting not far away, suddenly trembled and showed a shocked expression. Isn't this the eldest daughter of the Guo family? Although he had never met Guosairu, he had met He Qixing. He vaguely knew from him that Wang Yao's medicine seemed to have pulled the dying old man back from the brink of death. Therefore, he had formed a good relationship with the Guo family. He didn't expect that today the eldest daughter of the Guo family would come to see him in person. It seemed that they wanted to talk about something important. Well, can you show me the patient's medical record and related diagnosis information? This will have to wait a moment. I didn't bring it with me. I also need to ask the patient's opinion because her disease is very special. Well, when the patient agrees, you can come to see me at any time. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Sorry to trouble you. Goodbye. Tian Yuan drove Wang Yao away in his car. Do you know the specific identity of Miss Guo? I mean her family background. In the car, Tian Yuan suddenly asked such a question. I don't know. Why should I know? Wang Yao asked back with a smile. He only knew that Guosairu's identity was definitely not ordinary, but he didn't ask about her specific identity. There was no need to ask. You have no desires, Tian Yuan said with a smile. But there are some things that are better to know. The new governor of Qi province is surnamed Guo, Tian Yuan said. Huh. Even Wang Yao, who didn't care about politics, knew that the governor of a province was already a governor of a border. Many officials dreamed of reaching a height that could not be reached in their lifetime. This Miss Guosairu should be the daughter of Governor Guo. Such a family background. Wang Yao was very surprised. It was just like when he met Secretary Yang. Her family is in Jing City? Yes. Her grandfather's status is not small. Her family is a first-class wealthy family, even in Jing City. Tian Yuan decided. Not to mention him, even his friend, who was already a secretary of the city, wanted to climb up to such a family, but had no chance. The young man in front of him obviously had such an opportunity, but he was unwilling to seize it. People have different desires, so naturally, their mentality is different. Take the young man beside him, for example. Although he had traveled extensively over the years, plus the time they spent together, he actually couldn't see what the young man really wanted. Was it really a carefree life, the ultimate ideal that existed in novels? A wealthy family. After half a day, Wang Yao sighed with emotion. It seemed that his mind was wandering or his nerves were jammed, causing his reaction to be slow. I really admire you. Tian Yuan saw Wang Yao's expression and shook his head with a smile. Do you know how many people have tried all kinds of ways and means just to climb up the social ladder and make friends with the rich and powerful? Not to mention the rich and powerful. You're just giving up such a great opportunity. If some people knew about this, they would be so envious of you and scold you to death, Tian Yuan said. I think my life now is very good, Wang Yao said. Those so-called wealthy families, the so-called wealth and power, were not what he wanted now. In his opinion, those things might not be comparable to a prescription or half a medical book. Tian Yuan didn't ask much about other things. He had said what he needed to say. Wealthy family, Jing City. Wang Yao's heart was not as calm as it seemed on the surface. If I can persuade such a person to come to me, I think I can't be that bad. Unfortunately, I have to encounter such a task. Is there really no way to avoid this hurdle? On the way back, Wang Yao was silent. Tian Yuan also didn't say anything. After returning home, only his sister was at home. She was holding a big bag of potato chips and watching an emotional soap without any plot or content. Where are Mom and Dad? They went to visit and won't come back for dinner, so you have to take care of dinner. Why me? Wang Yao was stunned. Because I am your sister, Wang Ru said. What kind of bullsh asterisk T reason is that? How about we play rock, paper, scissors? At about 5 p.m., Wang Yao and his sister were sitting in the most famous mutton restaurant in town, drinking mutton soup. Sister, do you like mutton soup so much? You drank it 5 times in 2 days. Isn't it enough? The mutton in the restaurant tastes different from the one made by our mother, Wang Ru said. After losing the game of rock, paper, scissors, Wang Yao was asked to treat his sister to a meal. The location was the restaurant in town. Besides, mutton is very nutritious, Wang Ru said. Well, don't get a nosebleed. In a private room of a hotel in Hike, which was dozens of miles away. That's all I want to say. Uncle Gu, you can ask them what they think. Okay, can I see the doctor? The middle-aged man asked. No, Guosairu refused without hesitation. I'll contact the chief right away and ask for his opinion. The middle-aged man with the surname Gu immediately said. Okay. The night wind was slightly cold. It was already April. Theoretically, the weather should not be like this. It was a bit abnormal. It's going to rain, Wang Yao whispered as he looked up at the sky. The rain started to fall early the next morning. It was fine, continuous, and melancholic. As the raindrops fell, the spring on the mountain seemed to flow more cheerfully. The water in the shallow pool on the mountain grew very fast. It was very clear and shallow. One could see the bottom at a glance. There was a rock in the middle. The water grew slowly and then covered the rock. At that moment, the entire mountain suddenly shook and a rumbling sound could be heard. The wind seemed to have stopped. The rain seemed to have stopped. The dog rushed out of the kennel. The goshawk spread its wings between the trees and soared into the sky. What's going on? Wang Yao came out of the cottage and looked at the mountain. The grass and trees were green. It was a gentle breeze and drizzle. He did feel the vibration just now. It was very obvious. There was also the rumbling sound. He stood outside the cottage for a moment. The dog ran happily in the rain. The goshawk circled in the sky a few times and then fell back to the tree. Other than that, nothing else happened. Everything was as usual. However, Wang Yao vaguely felt that the world had changed. Looking at Nanshan Hill from a distance, he could only see the fog. It was thicker than other places nearby. It rained for a whole day. Wang Yao practiced and chanted in the cottage. It seemed to be particularly quiet outside today. On Nanshan Hill, in addition to the sound of the wind and rain, there was only the sound of the chanting in the cottage. It was very light, but it was not blocked by the wind and rain. It spread out, but it could not pass through the forest. Strange. What was that sound just now? It seems to be an earthquake. In the rain, there were still a few people who were relatively close to Nanshan Hill, so they vaguely heard or felt something. Hey, hurry up. What's going on Nanshan Hill? It's just rain and fog. What's going on? It feels a little strange. It looks good. Why didn't I notice it before? Chapter 164. Because of the rain, Wang Yao did not go down the hill. Instead, he called home and cooked dinner for himself. He decided to spend the night on the hill. Sanxian, what's going on? The dog had been in a magical state of excitement since the morning until the afternoon. It was as if it had taken drugs. Woof, woof, woof. Sanxian barked excitedly. Why are you so excited? Is it the season of spring? Woof, woof. Look, Xia is so quiet. Wang Yao raised his finger and pointed at the goshawk that was squatting on the branch. It just stood there quietly, motionless, as if it was a sculpture. Hey, Xia seems to have grown a lot. Wang Yao took a closer look and found that the goshawk seemed to have grown bigger. Is the food on Nanshan Hill good? In Hike, the night was still charming. Misqua, I've asked the chief. He agreed to send the relevant information, but it must not be leaked, the man with the surname Gu said. No problem, I can promise. Okay, I'll prepare the information tomorrow. Then I'll go again tomorrow. Guosairu tidied her hair and looked out of the window. Can I see him? No, it was foggy in the morning. Maybe it was because of the rain the day before. The fog on the hill was still relatively thick. However, the air was extraordinarily fresh. Wang Yao could feel it more clearly in the spirit-gathering battle array. The rain and dew had not dried yet. The grass and leaves were full of dew. Wang Yao came to the rock on the top of the hill. His body moved slowly. Tossing and turning, his palms slowly moved and pushed. The rain and fog that had not dissipated seemed to be attracted by something. They swirled around his body, especially between his palms. His movements were very slow. It seemed as if he did not have much strength. Gradually, a ball formed between his palms. It was a ball formed by the rain and fog. Buzz! Bang! The ball suddenly broke. Gotcha! A piece of the rock under his feet sank down, and a footprint was left on the hard mountain rock. Phew! Not bad. Another meridian opened. The sun rose from the east, and its warm light shone everywhere. At about 10 o'clock in the morning, a graceful woman came up the mountain. It was Guosairu. This time, she was alone. Sorry to disturb you again. Please have a seat. Wang Yao brewed a pot of tea for her. This is the patient's information. Dr. Wang, take a look. Guosairu took out a file and handed it to Wang Yao. I'll have to trouble you to keep this a secret. Don't leak any information. I promise. Wang Yao took the file and opened it. He began to flip through the medical records and various test reports. The patient was a young woman. She was ill and her whole body was festering. Wang Yao carefully looked through the medical records, as well as the diagnoses made by both Chinese and Western doctors. In traditional Chinese medicine, there's an imbalance of yin and yang in the body, resulting in the growth of evil toxins that spread to the skin, causing ulcers and ulcers all over the body. Western medicine, it was even simpler. The body's blood was infected with a special toxin, which caused the skin to fester. How many years has she been ill? 3 years. 3 years. Looking at a stack of bills and diagnoses, she must have seen many doctors, but none of them could cure her. This was a typical difficult disease. Can you leave the information with me? Yes, Guosairu said. Give me some time. I'll get back to you within 3 days. Okay. Guosairu was silent for a moment. This girl is in a lot of pain, but she is also very strong. I can imagine. Wang Yao was a little surprised. A young woman in her 20s was supposed to be in the prime of her life. She was young and beautiful. However, this disease destroyed her health and destroyed her youth. Not only did she have to bear great physical pain, but she also had to bear unimaginable mental pressure. If it was someone with a weaker mentality, it was very likely that they would have died very quickly. So, I begged Dr. Wang to help and save her. There has to be a way to save her, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay, I won't disturb you. The mountain road is rugged. Please take your time. Okay. Guosairu went down the mountain alone. Her back was graceful. After seeing Guosairu off, Wang Yao began to focus on studying the information sent by Guosairu. He made notes from time to time and wrote down some of his thoughts. Because he was studying the information, he didn't even go home for lunch. From the information, Wang Yao already got a lot of information. However, he still needed to see the patient and diagnose the specific cause of the disease and how to treat it. Jing? Wang Yao put away the information and looked out of the window. The sky was dark. The sun was setting in the west. Suddenly, the sound of birds chirping came from outside. Wang Yao went out to take a look and saw dozens of sparrows on the tree branch. Huh. Seeing this scene, he was slightly surprised. Since the goshawk settled here, very few birds came here. The goshawk was the overlord of the sky. These birds were born to fear it. It was unimaginable that dozens of sparrows would come here today. Are they outsiders? Don't they know there is danger here? Caw! Suddenly, there was a sound in the sky. The birds in the tree didn't respond for a long time. When they knew where the goshawk was, they all flew away. Sure enough, they were just passing by. After dinner, it was another night of studying. The next day, Wang Yao contacted Guosairu and returned the information to her. I need to see the patient to diagnose this disease. However, I won't go to Jing in the short term. Guosairu was confused. His answer put Guosairu in a difficult position. She came here with a task, although her grandfather didn't say that this task must be completed. Seeing that Wang Yuk didn't want to give in, Guosairu could only ask for another medicine. Can I ask for a dose of medicine? Regather soup? Yes, the medicine that was used to treat my grandfather's disease. Can it also relieve the pain of this patient? The effect of the medicine is to consolidate the corporeity. In short, it can be understood as increasing vitality and strengthening the body's resistance. This medicine is almost suitable for most patients, Wang Yao said. In fact, it was effective even for people who weren't sick. He had decocted a dose of medicine for his parents. The effect was very obvious. After taking the medicine, his parents' spirits were much better. From the pulse, he could feel that it was stronger than before. Can I trouble Dr. Wang to make a dose of medicine? Yes, but we don't have the relevant herbs. We need to wait for a few days. Wang Yao said that the main thing missing was the few wild herbs. He had asked Li Maoshuang to purchase them. After hearing that, Guosairu asked about the herbs Wang Yao needed and immediately made a phone call. Leave it to me. The herbs you need will be delivered today. No wonder they were from a wealthy family. They had strong connections. Come to pick up the medicine the day after tomorrow. Okay. That afternoon, He Qixing brought the herbs to Nanshan Hill. The herbs were definitely old enough, and they were all wild herbs. It was extremely difficult to get them on the market, let alone in such a short time. If it were Li Maoshuang doing this, it would take at least 3 days. Come and get the herbs the day after tomorrow. Okay. He Qixing didn't stay on the hill for too long. This hill. After going down the hill, he looked back at Nanshan Hill. He could vaguely see the fog surrounding the hill. It's different from the last time I was here. There are new changes in such a short time. How did this young man do it? I gave him the information, but he needs to see the patient to determine the treatment plan. Unfortunately, he still doesn't want to go to Beijing. Guosairu told the news to the middle-aged man, whose surname was Gu, who came with her. He still doesn't agree. The middle-aged man was a little anxious. Didn't he make any conditions? Uncle Gu. Guosairu still had a smile on her face, but her tone changed. He didn't make any conditions. He just doesn't want to go to Beijing. Sorry. The middle-aged man suddenly realized that his tone was a little abrupt. I've asked him to decoct a decoction. We'll get the herbs the day after tomorrow. Herbs? He hasn't seen the doctor yet, and he's already prescribed the herbs? It's the consolidation of the corporeity. It can strengthen Xiaoshue's immune system. Oh, that's good. Sorry to trouble you. The next day, the sun was warm, and there was a gentle breeze. Perhaps it was because of the spring rain, or because the aura had become abundant. The trees on the hill were more green and pleasing. A gust of wind came, and the leaves rustled. The firewood was burning, the flame was swaying, the spring water was boiling, and the smell of herbs filled the air. The regather soup was the medicine he had decocted the most times. He was very familiar with the process of dispensing and decocting the decoction. It was the most convenient decoction for him. It's done. After decocting the decoction, there were still a lot of medicinal herbs left. He packed them up and put them in his bag. Woof, woof, woof. Suddenly, there was a dog barking sound outside. It seemed to be very urgent. What's going on? As soon as Wang Yao went out, he saw San Xian rushing out like the wind. The goshawk in the sky also swooped down. They had the same goal, which was a crazy rat. Yes, it was a rat. There are rats on the hill. Wang Yao remembered that since San Xian came here, no rats had come here. Now there was a goshawk. A rat daring to come here was clearly looking for death. What's the matter with that rat? Is it lost? Wait, what's that? Wang Yao saw an animal poking its head out from a distance. It was a hare. That wild rabbit stuck its head out and then actually ran over here. What kind of behavior was this? This was the behavior of a tiger going to the hill when it knew there was a tiger. This was the behavior of a tiger who knew it would die. First, it was the bird, then the rat, and now the hare. They all took the initiative to come here to die. What was the situation? What caused it? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.